My city's gonna tell you the tale. Everyone was left in the veil. My time won't come to an end. Take a look around, it's a war zone. The damage is already done. Take a look around, it's a war zone. The damage is already done. Take a look around. And keep your guns high. It's a war zone. It's a war zone. And I'll be fighting for my life, so keep your guns high. It's a war zone. It's a war zone. And I'll be fighting. I'm bad to the bone. Got blood on my knees. I'm bad for my life, I'm fighting. Yeah, I'm bad to the bone. Got blood on my knees. I'm bad for my life, I'm fighting.
You struggle to rank up in Rocket League? Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTXAcademy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments and trophies won and thousands of dollars earned, I will tailor to your needs and make sure you get to that next level. I'm also doing discounted prices for the first 10 days, so you do not want to miss out. And you are also probably thinking,
CMOS, how do I book a session with you?
well, that's easy. Just open up that fancy browser of yours, type metafy.gg/@cmasorl_, pick a session to your liking, book a time, and bang, you're booked, and I'll see you in the call. Once again, that's metafy.gg/@cmasorl_.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
Welcome back, everybody. I don't know what's happened there, but blame our producer. But my name's Hodge. Joining me today is Rising Storm, and we've reached the end of our play-ins journey across all the tiers. We've still got some playoffs to happen over the weekend, but this is the last day of play-ins here in RSC16. And what better way to kick things off than with Deathcloud Tempest versus Owls Aussie?
Yeah, these are two great teams here. As we're kicking off the play-ins for today, we've got a lot of great Rocket League for you. We've got several hours of these players lined up. I'll be here for a while. Hodge will be here for a while. We are so excited to get this started. It's going to happen in just a few minutes here. But Hodge, I got to know, who do you got winning this one?
Who do I got winning this one? It's a great question, and I think I don't know. I think before I know about predictions and before I start to make my own predictions, I think we need to sort of go over some of the stats here because I'm a little bit uninformed with these couple of teams. So as we wait for them to hop in the lobby, I think we'll head over to some of our stats here if we possibly can and just see maybe what the picture is that we're looking at with these two teams, right? Because when you've got the team stats up on the screen, 6th is Deathcloud here coming from the Glacies Conference, Owls from the Ignis Conference, 5th in their conference. When you look at the wins here, Rising Storm, on the screen, 34 to 37, there's not really that much in it, but I've had a look at the database and it looks like, I know some of the matches are, not quite correct and stuff, but it looks like Deathcloud had a little bit of a, not the greatest end to the season, so I wonder if Owls are going to be in better form here.
And you have to look at these statistics and look, these teams are so closely tied right now. 316 saves to 306, right? Your statistics are all only off by single-digit numbers, including the wins. Only 3 wins differentiate these two teams. So either way, you can tell this is going to be a very, very close match. But like you said, Deathcloud Tempest, a little bit of an off end of the season. Are they going to be able to turn that around here in the play-ins, or is Owls' record just going to precede them and allow them to just really take this one through and get into those playoffs? What do you think?
I don't really know. I think we've got to have a look at the player statistics as well, just to see where, on the field, who's making the impact on these teams, because I'm still a little bit unsure, and I know Deathcloud is a team that have made many roster changes across this season, with Trout being the sort of mainstay player on that team. I know they had a couple of player issues, couple of roster changes, and are now trying to find a name for themselves here in the Master Tier. You look at this Owls Esports team, it's a team that have got the reps in, right? You've got the likes of Tomster, Llama, Penny, who've played in, the majority of the games here for Owls Esports, and they've got a lot of cohesion at this point, surely you'd think, right? So I think it's a little bit of a wild card matchup for me here, right, Rising Storm, because you've got the likes of Deathcloud, who they don't really have as much time together, right? Anything can really happen with this one, whereas Owls, they've got that tried and true sort of chemistry that they've built across the whole season. So is that going to prevail, or is the sort of unknown element of the Deathcloud gonna really help out here? But I think, well, it's time to sort of circumvent back to that question that you asked me right at the start and talk about predictions, because we have the players in the lobby pretty much ready to go. But before I answer the question, I'm gonna throw it to you first. Who have you got winning this one?
I agree with a lot of what you said, but I think the team chemistry of that roster from Owls sticking together all season, and they've got a proven record. I mean, the statistics do not lie. They are 5th seed versus 6th seed here. So I'm going to go with Owls Esports is going to take this, and I think it's going to be close. I think these teams are going to be really evenly matched here. I know that they've both been training hard to get in these play-ins, and I know that they both really, really want to get to tomorrow to the playoffs. And so I think I'm going to go Owls Esports with a 3-2 win here.
We will see. I think I'm going to go for... It is a best of 7, just to clarify. But I think I'm going to go for a 4-2 win to Owls. No, I'm not. I'm going 4-3 Deathcloud. Give me Deathcloud on this one. 4-3 Deathcloud. Throw it up on the screen. I don't really know what's going to happen, but that is what we're going to find out on the pitch here. Do you want to maybe make a change to your prediction there, Rising Storm?
Well, yeah, so they will need one more game to win. I think they're going to be able to get it. I think it's going to be 4-2 Owls. I think that's what we're going to see today.
Okay, so we're going different ways. Let us know which way you're going in chat, but it's pretty much time to get this one underway. Two teams who have fought across the entire season to try and sort of scrape into this situation. Now, two teams who are one step away from elimination. Will it be the end of the road? Well, it will be for one of these teams, but which one of them will it be is the question that we are about to answer. Tell the players to go, and get themselves onto the pitch. It is time to find out who moves forward to play against, I'm not sure, in the next in the next game. And, well, who's going to be eliminated. You can tell I've just subbed in for this cast, and I'm not actually, supposed to be here.
Yeah, fun fact, Hodge actually joined this cast about 5 minutes before the start time, so thank you very much for being here. You weren't supposed to be here, but you showed up for these players, you showed up for me, and Trout gonna open the series, open the game here with a beautiful goal off the sidewall there for Tempest. Hodge, your prediction looking a little bit more likely now, but great goal for Tempest Esports here to start us off. And we'll see if they can continue this momentum here against this Owls Esports roster. Herd looking for the shot early, and he gets it. What a shot there for Herdlos. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that name, but either way, a kickoff goal coming out very early for Tempest. Only 4 seconds between the two of them. And that is a great start to this game 1 here in our best of 7 for Tempest Esports.
I'm going to need some people in chat to help me with the names here on Deathcloud because, you know, Owls, they've given us some very nice names to work with. Tomster, Llama, Penny. I need some help with Deathcloud for everyone apart from Trout here. So you know, if anyone does, you know anything about this team, the players, please feel free to chip in and bail us out on this one. But it is 2-0 already for the side of Deathcloud Tempest. Owls Esports looking for a response though, and it's Llama from the top ropes.
What a shot there. Llama with the double tap. What an incredible angle. I mean, that is ridiculous to the top left for Llama here. And now Owl Esports has halved the Tempest lead here going into the end of the first minute. Very high-scoring game so far. Both of these teams very back and forth, very offensive. Not a lot of defense being played here. We haven't seen a lot of consistent pressure net. Llama looking for Tomster in the middle off the ceiling. Looks for a teammate, but it'll be cleared out by Herd into their own corner. Now Llama. Demo coming out, and that'll leave some pressure for him there, allow him to keep that offense. But now he's forced to play some defense off the back wall, gets bumped, and Cavern, I believe, will be there for the shot for Tempest, and Tempest putting on a great offensive play here in the first minute of this game. 3-1 now for this Tempest squad here, as they have had a great start. Their offense has just been on point. The shooting has been so consistent for this Tempest roster. And Owls Esports are faltering a little bit on defense, and Tempest just able to find those holes. Cavern wants another one, but it's deflected by Penny. Ball floating in the midfield. No one wants to take it. Cavern will take it. Looking for an air dribble, but the angle he started was a little bit iffy, and it'll just get cleared away. A little bit of a gap here for Owls. Can they put some pressure on the Tempest defense? No, Herd will be able to take it out over 1. Can't get past Tomster, though. Llama gets bumped. And the ball, again, just moving very slowly. You have these moments of very low pressure, and then Penny all of a sudden comes out with an insane shot on net. Tomster with the follow-up, but neither of them can find a way through the Tempest defense.
It's proving a little bit difficult, that's certainly for sure. It will be brought back here by Cavern. Just to sort of control this one over to the side, right? And it's what you get in these master sort of divisions here. The upper divisions of RSC in general, really, is people sort of control the ball a little bit more. Whereas, you know, the likes in some of the matches we saw a couple of weeks ago in the academies, the prospects, it was more just hit the ball and hope for the best. But when you talk about hitting the ball and hoping for the best, Penny has certainly achieved the best on that play and might be about to just go down the other side and get a goal. That was incredible value found there. Squishy save out of the net, straight down the other side, catching Deathcloud off guard. And it's a response once again from Owls.
Yeah, what a shot there from Penny to, again, half the Tempest lead. But Owls Esports, they've just been trailing this whole first half of the game. As we go into the second half, I gotta know, what do you think they're going to need to change here against this Tempest roster very, very quickly, because this game is not going to pause for them. But what do you think they have to change in order to get that next goal that'll tie this game for them?
Nothing, if I'm completely honest. I think the way Owls are playing this, for me, is pretty fine, and I think this is the sort of bigger assumption that, you know, I don't know, I'm completely lost for words. I thought that was going to be a goal, and, you know, was segueing into a little bit of a different point there. Anyway, I think nothing needs to be changed overall, is the point I'm trying to make here. I think that it's a lot of the time takes teams a couple of minutes, couple of games to get into a series, and well, right now we're seeing that as the pushback's coming through from Owls, right? And it has been over the course of the past couple of minutes. We saw the early lead extended by Deathcloud. Now we're seeing that little bit of pushback. Obviously, we saw goal a couple of minutes ago, goal just recently. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Owls come back and win this one, especially with, you know, a couple of minutes still remaining on that clock. But I think Owls, it's just about settling into this series, right? You've got the likes of Deathcloud, who have come out swinging, who are probably the team who people are looking at in this match and thinking are the least likely to come away with the victory here. So playing into that underdog sort of story, going to help them out, and there's not really as much expectations, I'd say, on that team.
I agree with you. I think I'd like to see a tightening of the defense a little bit, but other than that, Owls seem to be finding their footing here more. We're seeing a lot more of those passes on offense. They just need a couple more of those to connect. The real question is, are they going to have the time to figure that out? Tomster wants the flick, gets it round 1, but there's 2 more Tempest defenders immediately there to back it up. miss in the midfield for Penny. It'll be a little bit awkward there. The ball still remaining in the offensive side here for Owls. Off the backboard for Llama, but it's deflected away by Cavern. And nothing yet. Now Penny following it up, has Tomster in the middle. Tomster has the angle. What a shot to tie the game here for Owls Esports. Penny pops it over off the wall, and Cavern just a little bit awkward. Tomster gets there first, and it's right behind the only man sitting in net. And they can't get there. 3-3, 54 seconds to go in game one. Owl Esports has tied it up.
They certainly have. And now they're going to look to try and continue to chip away at that lead like they have been for the whole game, right? It's been a little bit interesting, and it might continue that way unless Trout gets on the end of it, but certainly does. And it's just trying to get out of this defensive lock here, and that has been the entire story of the second half of game number one here for Deathcloud. Trout now looking to go on the offense, finds a demo. Llama picks it up, has some boost to work with. Not going to get further than the back wall. Tomster there, though. That's could be a little bit awkward, especially because he's staying up for it. Everybody awkward, nobody willing to go, and in the meantime, Owls are just circling like sharks.
This is a scary, scary place to be. We could potentially see overtime in game one here. A lot of offensive pressure now in the second half for this Owls Esports roster. They've certainly woken up, and Tempest, we're seeing them get a little bit more nervous on defense now. They're getting demoed, they're getting bumped. And Bird taking it dangerously over the net, but we will go to overtime in game one in your best of 7. These players fighting for a chance in the playoffs here. Who's going to take it? We don't even know how long it's going to take. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 2 minutes, it could be 10 seconds if Tempest gets this offensive play. Trout with the shot, but it's deflected by Cavern. Hurry for the follow-up. We'll get it. Like I said, 12 seconds into overtime. Tempest take game one 4-3.
They certainly do. And it is the shot coming through from Hardler there to secure it in overtime. Deathcloud Tempest, a little bit of a rocky second half of that game, but they do manage to compose themselves in the overtime and get game number one off to a good start in this series, right? They get the ball rolling, and if we have a look at this sort of match stats after the first game, you can see that there was these players who made the difference, and there often is on some of these teams, like Penny for Owls there. But I'm looking at Deathcloud. It just looks like a very even and equal performance, excuse me. And I think that is really what this team's going to need here, Rising Storm, if they want to get themselves over the line, right? It's not really the star player factor. It's more just the team performance, and that's what they're showing us here in game one.
I'm going to agree with you. I don't think it's quite evil, but it was certainly must have made Owl Esports feel bad, that overtime win. And that is a great game for Deathcloud Tempest to open the series for them here. Those statistics show that they're a little bit of an unbalanced match here for Owl Esports. Can they change it up? Penny had about double the score of the other two teammates. So Owl Esports going into this second match here on Forbidden Temple. How are they going to change it up? How are they going to switch it up? Can they get a more even use of all their players, of all that talent that we know is hiding on that Owl Esports roster that's led them to this better season record? Well, only the next 5 minutes will tell here as we get started in Game 2 of your best of 7.
Certainly do. It's been a good start here for Deathcloud, but can they continue it, right? Penny already in that early challenge, sort of forcing this midfield pressure to try and be contested. But it is Deathcloud who are coming out the benefactors of these situations, and it's a bit of a rushed clear, and one that will just about work. But Deathcloud going to be quite happy to try and keep this pressure up. Won't happen though. Penny touchdown field, trying to force these players to jump. I don't even know what happened there. The demo, it's just madness, right? It's just chaos, and well, to be honest, Rising Storm, I think that's what we need in a master game, right? Where a lot of people prefer watching some of these lower tier games. Master's probably one of the tiers that isn't watched as much as some of the other ones. We need chaos. We need good plays. We need people charging each other down, and we need Trout missing an open net.
What a shot there. I don't know how that didn't go in for Deathcloud Tempest, but now Owl Esports a little bit of a breakaway here. Cavern forced to clear it out of his own corner. And that was a little scary there for Owl Esports, but they held strong through the first minute. We're still 0-0, so we're seeing a lot less high-scoring game than last time. Trout over one, wants to get over the second, but Llama will challenge it out. Now Tomster has to clear this, and he will, looking for a teammate, but Llama's out of boost, and Cavern will collect. Cavern ground play gets around one. but neither of those players have boosts until Tomster grabs the corner and says, I'll take that, and tries to get it away. But again, there's always another Deathcloud Tempest player right on the ball, and they've kept very good pressure here on this OWL Esports roster. A breakaway. Llama wants it down, but he can't find it. And again, a little bit of offense here coming for OWL Esports, the first we've seen out of them for this game. Can they get that opening goal that they would so desperately want to have for their mentality here? Herd needs to clear it off of his own corner, but he's a little bit awkward. And he'll just leave and grab some boost. Now Penny, boost in the ball, flicks it over one, gets it up high, looking for Tomster, but he can't quite get there before Cavern clears it away. And still nothing for either of these teams. Llama goes low, fakes the ball, going for a bump, but Herd read the fake and says, I'll collect that, thank you very much. And takes it back to the midfield. We've got nothing still as we enter the first half. There's a goal! Llama finally to open the game for OWL Esports. A well-deserved goal here. Tomster making moves in the middle, passing to a teammate that I couldn't even see from that angle that I was looking at, and Llama will collect it before anybody on Tempest can get there, and all of a sudden, it's going towards an open net, and Tempest, you're thinking, where did our last defender just go?
Yeah, you certainly are a little bit right, and I mean, Deathcloud Tempest, they've got to try and turn this one around, right? They've had opportunities. I'm thinking back to a little bit of a missed open net, but I mean, as the Elite players will know from certain GIFs that I've seen in Elite discussion, trout shooting is not shooting that people like to talk about very well. Anyway, into the second half of this game we go, and already Deathcloud are looking to pull out the fakes, looking to pull out the shots, but maybe it's going to be another missed touch once again, as Deathcloud may have some of these come back to haunt them at the end of this one if things don't get sorted out soon.
That was a scary moment there. We've had a couple scary moments, but so far OWL Esports are looking like a different team from last time. They're prioritizing those passes. They're intercepting the passes from Tempest in the midfield. And uh-oh, defensive fumble. That's the caster's curse for you. Right as I say, in a minute 57 to go, Cavern has tied it up here for Deathcloud Tempest. What a shot from midfield, and Penny just a little bit awkward on the wall. Couldn't quite get back down in time for it. And Cavern finds a gap in the defense that ties the game here for Tempest as we go into the third minute of your game 2 in this best of 7. Both of these teams, like we said before, potentially going to the playoffs. If they win this best of 7, they would very much like to do that. And Herd wants to make it happen, but he can't find the angle. Deathcloud Tempest, all three of their players lurking in that offensive half here, forcing the defense of OWL Esports to work so hard. Tomster has to clear it, doesn't get a great touch. Trout gets the angle, and Tomster almost got back to that one with no boost. That would have been an incredible defensive play, but he just couldn't quite put a hand up, and Penny got bumped. The last man back got bumped. What a play there for the Deathcloud Tempest squad, and that is a well-earned second goal here to give them the lead with a minute 36 to go. And now all of a sudden, OWL Esports, in the past 30 seconds, you've been put completely on the back foot. Can you come back? Almost a third goal there, but still OWL Esports forced to play defense.
Forced to play defense, and Deathcloud looking to continue to heat up. Trout not able to get on the end of it. It will filter back out to this midfield. I've liked what I've been seeing here from both of these teams in this game, and Owls still got some work to do in some of these counter-attacks, right? And maybe they can just do it right there, but a brilliant save coming through from Trout to put that to a stop. And I mean, a minute left in this one. Owls looking to pick the pace back up, but double commit coming through from Deathcloud. It's chaotic once again here in the skies. Everyone's fighting for that possession. Cavern taking it up to this back wall, and Rising Storm, it looks like Deathcloud might be right back on the attack, which is exactly what Owls don't want to see here, as it is put on the back wall. Follow-up coming through. It's a little bit messy, but all this is just stalling time off of the clock. Cavern turns round to slam it in the back of the net, and it is Deathcloud reclaiming a 2-goal lead.
Deathcloud Tempest looking stronger than ever here, and it's not looking good for my prediction, which is, of course, the only thing that matters here, as OWL Esports is going to have to win 4 in a row now, if I'm to be correct, or at the very least, they're only going to have 1 life left here if Deathcloud Tempest puts them 2 games down in the series. So OWL Esports, not a great outlook here. They've got 30 seconds left. Miracles do happen, but these next 20 seconds... Deathcloud Tempest is just going to have to waste time here and not allow an OWL Esports goal with time on the clock. And that is all that matters. Herd will get that clear. Tomster looking for something with time on the clock. 10 seconds to go. Not looking likely here for OWL Esports. Llama to Penny, and it's faked. Llama now. Shot. They need to score this right now. 2 seconds left, and that'll do it for Game 2. Deathcloud Tempest going to take 2 in a row against OWL Esports.
They most certainly are. Death Cloud Tempest 2-0 up in the series. I'm wondering if we're going to get a potential timeout coming through here from Aussie, because it really feels like it could be needed at this point, right? Because, you know, you're 2 games in at this point. What do you even do? Things aren't really going well for you, but at the same time, I'm not seeing a call for a timeout at all coming through in the chat. So it looks like they will just be opting to play on here. And, you know, you can sit here, Rising Storm, and you can say, oh, yeah, that's not really a good decision. It's best to just, you know, take that time out, slow things down, and think about what's maybe going wrong here. But at the same time, I see the perspective, right, of just, we want to stay as warm as possible, right? We want to just continue to keep on that steady uptrend. But you've got to actually do that, because if you don't start picking up some wins here in the next 2 games, you will find yourselves out of RSC16 in that play-ins lower bracket. So you don't want to be going out here. You don't want to be going out now. It is not quite last chance saloon here for Aussie. They do still have 2 more lives, I guess, left in them. But for every life that they lose now, they have to win 2 games essentially to equalize that. So still 4 games needed to be won here for Aussie. 2 lives left. Tempest find themselves 2 stops away from the next round.
Again, I think personally, I don't think Owl Esports feels that scared right now, if I could put it that way. I think Owl Esports is saying, we're making a few mistakes here. That's really what's getting these goals scored against us. I think if we can tighten up a little bit on defense, we definitely have the capability to beat this team. And I don't think they need a timeout to say that to themselves. I think if they go down this game, they will definitely be taking that timeout, because it's not really going to hurt you. But I think they're trying to keep that momentum going, because they did improve in Game 2. They held a lead for a little bit there, and they held them to tied, and then Death Cloud Tempest just kind of took it away in the last minute and 30, and they couldn't find another goal. So I don't know what the coaches are saying to the players right now, but I think they really want to just keep that momentum going here as we head into Game 3 in your best of 7. These players competing to stay alive in Season 16 of RSC. Trout wants it for Death Cloud Tempest, but he won't find the angle, and will be cleared out by Penny. Penny looking for an air dribble now, looking for a teammate, has Llama, goes low, but it's challenged great by Cavern, and he'll get the clear off of that as well. Now Trout looking for Cavern again. Cavern on offense, goes for the double tap, finds the backboard, but Tomster will clear it out for Owl Esports, and they'll stay alive here. 0-0, 4 minutes to go in Game 3. If Tempest wins this, they'll be on match point in the series.
Certainly will. But it's about securing those goals here for both of these teams, right? An important game. For one, it's about getting momentum back into this series, staying within a chance. And for the other, it's just about continuing to show what they've already showed us here today so far, right? And I think, you know, for Owls, obviously, it's the more crucial game, but for Death Cloud, just to solidify that they can still keep on pushing this further and further, because we've seen 3, I think, in total across RSC16 so far. 3 best of 7 reverse sweeps happen. Once in Academy, once in Prospect, and once in Elite yesterday. So, well, not yesterday, the day before, but you don't want to be put in that position, right? It does rarely happen. So to be winning this game right now, and it's sort of taking a little bit of that pressure off yourselves here for Owls, certainly something that would be beneficial. But we'll see, right? No goals on the board just yet. Demos coming through. That's going to give Owls a little bit of space to work with on this attack, but maybe not, because it has just been hit right back over to their backboard. Everyone's a little bit awkward. It's a good pop up from Trout, but the follow-up is not quite good. Still keeping that pressure going, though, which is good to see. Death Cloud just looking to stall out some resources gradually and keep on pressing.
And again, this Owl Esports roster, we say that best of 7 reverse sweeps are possible. It's not technically impossible, but that's what everybody in our LCS says when they say, well, we don't want to tell you that you're probably not going to win the next games or the series, but you probably will. So it's very, very unlikely that it will happen, but statistically it is possible. That is not ever a scenario you want to put yourself in here. So Owl Esports, this is a must-win game here for this team. You cannot let Death Cloud Tempest get 4 lives above you, and Cavern fakes the shot there. I don't know why he faked that. There was nobody in net. And Death Cloud Tempest still haven't managed to put a goal in, but their offensive pressure here in the first 3 minutes of this game have looked so put together here, as Tomster forced to clear it out, gets it round 1. Space to breathe here for Owl Esports. Tomster wants it high on the backboard, but Herd puts up a hand and says no. Trout now will take it out from the corner, deflected by Penny. He's looking for anybody from Owl Esports to get there, and it'll be nobody. And then there will be forced to play some defense again. Intercepted in the middle by Cavern. Cavern now to Trout. Into the corner. Has the follow-up touch. But the only person to get there is Llama, who will clear it out. Again, though, there's always a Deathcloud Tempest player on the other side of the ball. Crazy dunk there from Llama. But there's 2 defenders sitting right there in net to collect. Now only 1 man back for Owl Esports here for a second. He gets the follow-up. Penny, what a series of plays there, but still, Deathcloud Tempest holding them to midfield. 1:10 seconds to go here in Game 3, a must-win for Owl Esports. It's looking like they might only need to win it by a goal or 2. Tomster now has Llama in the middle. Goal! It was an own goal for Deathcloud Tempest, and Tomster will get credited with it. Let's watch again what happened here. Llama challenges 1. Tomster shoots again, and Llama goes for the bump, and Trout was just trying to get back and actually shot it into his own net around the last defender. And they'll be kicking themselves over that here, as Deathcloud Tempest now have given up the lead with a minute to go here in Game 3.
Minute still left here. Cavern trying to drop this one down, but it will be picked up by the Owls defenders, and maybe only just for a second. It's proving a little bit awkward, and now might continue to be as the demos come through, but it is a great clear away there from Penny over to Cavern. Back into this midfield. It's going to give Llama a chance to maybe get this one over into that corner. But the follow-up from Trout, quicker than the one from Owls. And, well, it will just be Owls who look to continue this attack as they were able to put that little bit of pushback from Trout to a stop. 20 seconds remaining from this one, though, here. Rising Storm. And, well, it looks like we might be about to see a little bit of pushback in this series from the Owls.
That was an absolutely insane play there in the last 10 seconds. Penny almost got bumped, but was still able to make that save. Tomster wants to double the lead here as the seconds tick down. Owl Esports hoping so badly for their first win. It's going to be a roller on the ground. They'll get it. Aussie is going to take Game 3. And a very well-deserved win here. They played some great offense. They played some great defense, and they were able to hold it together against that barrage of Tempest. 7 shots coming out from Tempest to Owl Esports only 2. Total. And we saw a great disparity there on the Tempest scoreboard. Trout only 68 points. That's probably the lowest I've ever seen in any RSC game, at least for me, that I've casted. But again, this Deathcloud roster was not holding back on offense. They got 7 shots on net. Not a single one went in. We got a combined total of 6 saves distributed evenly through that Owl Esports roster, and the 7th one must have just been the crossbar. But that was a great showing. That is exactly what we need to see from Owl Esports. Like I said, in Game 2, they really were able to tighten up that defense, and that is really what held them together that game. They finally found the ability to save the shots coming out from Deathcloud Tempest, and all of a sudden now you've got this opportunity where there's an open net, you can put a little bit more pressure on, and eventually it was an own goal that got them the win, but that does not at all mean that they didn't earn it as much as they did. They had some very, very solid midfield plays. They were able to get some offensive pressure. And now they are looking to tie the series as we head into Utopia Coliseum for Game 4. Still, Deathcloud Tempest could be on match point next match, but Owl Esports now looking to make this a best of 3.
Certainly are, and we'll see how they go on their road to doing just that, right? Owls, they were able to pick up the pace a little bit there and get themselves back into this one, although still a pretty close game. Could have gone either way, that's for sure. And then they need to stop worrying about, you know, those sort of, I guess, variables. Could have gone either way, and start, you know, showing us dominant performances that can make us believe here. It is early pressure from both of these teams so far. We've gone either side, but so far, it looks like Deathcloud is becoming the benefactor, and something that we've seen plenty of times this series already. But Trout will go to the backboard, looks to set up the angle, can't quite find it though. Deathcloud, well, not too bad on the early attack, but a couple of chances that I'm sure they would have liked to have.
And Owl Esports, a little bit of a shaky start here to Game 1, but they're fighting it back, and both of these teams found nothing in the first minute. Owl Esports now their first chance at offense consistently in this game, and that's something we haven't really seen out of them. We haven't really been able to see consistent minute or two of offense, whereas Deathcloud Tempest has been able to put that level onto this Owl Esports defensive roster. Now only 1 player back here. Cavern going for the air dribble pump, gets it! Air dribble demo on Penny. What a play there from Cavern. Catches it, gets around 1, knows that there's only 1 defender in net, pops it up, says, I'm going to hunt you down like a missile. And Penny, absolutely nothing that he could do to put a hand up there. He'll get completely blocked, and Deathcloud Tempest, a well-earned first goal here. 3 minutes 45 to go in Game 4. They are looking to be on match point if they continue this up.
Certainly are. First goal secured here by Deathcloud Tempest. Llama trying to get that one over to a teammate, but no one to be found, excuse me. So Cavern try and run this one into the back of the net, but kept away just by Tomster there. Penny a little bit awkward, shouts up for it. Surely this is a goal! And the second one for Deathcloud. It looks to be that way. And Owls look a little bit lifeless, and they certainly did in the defense there. People, I guess Penny and Llama, both of them just stood and watched into the skies as they saw Trout come flying in and tap that second one in there. And Rising Storm, I get they didn't have a lot of boost, whatnot. It's these situations that you can't really be in, that you've got to try and avoid. Here's another one coming through, and this one won't quite be as deadly just yet, but it's once again panic. It's once again not showing signs of a comeback, and that has to be desperately turned around here.
Now Esports, someone has clipped their wings on defense, so they cannot put a hand up for this Deathcloud offense. And Tempest looking dominant in this Game 4 so far. An air dribble bump coming out again, but Thompson will collect and give Owls a breath of relief here. A little bit of a team bump there, some awkward defense, but nobody able to capitalize just yet for Owls. They'll keep the pressure on, though. Cavern just forced to clear with no boost, and he won't get the follow-up either. Now Tomster wants the shot on net, but it's deflected by Herd, who just sat there and jumped once and said, nope, that's not going in. And that's what's the difference between these two rosters so far. Deathcloud Tempest have been putting some ridiculous team plays on net, whereas Owl Esports usually just send up one player, and they're just easily able to be deflected by the two defenders that get to sit in net on Deathcloud Tempest and just put a hand up so easily. Tomster forced to just make a big clear here. Trout will collect, but it's a little bit awkward. He takes it back to his own corner off the wall. Looking for the follow-up. Herd will get there first. Now Cavern up the wall. Cavern looking for a teammate. Pops it to the middle. All three members in the offensive side of Owl Esports right now, as the ball floats over the backboard dangerously, and nobody there to get it except Penny, who will clear it out. Now Tomster looking for an air dribble. 2 minutes to go. Tomster looking for the flip reset. Gets it! It's deflected by Cavern, and what a good save there for Tempest. And this will get them an offensive chance here. Owl Esports, that was their best look so far, and it still got deflected. They cannot find a gap in this Tempest defense. And Owl Esports are struggling to find holes in Tempest right now. Tempest playing so well on that defensive side. They have not even let Owls get a good look at the net. And what an interesting shot there from Chad. It looked like he bounced his car vertically to keep that ball over. And it's worked out for him now as they get a chance to shoot here. Tomster again just forced to collect, but he's dunked immediately. Now pass for a teammate. Penny has to get there. And he does, but just barely. Defensive pressure still on for Deathcloud Tempest here as we head into the final minute. 2 goals down. Owl Esports need to win this, or Deathcloud Tempest is on match point to go to the playoffs.
Certainly seems that way. 1 minute left to this one. Llama taking it over the top of one and looking to get this onto the backboard. Tomster pre-jump. Is it good enough? Of course it is. From the Irishman. Looking to try and find a comeback here in game number 4. Owls give themselves life in the game. Can they give themselves even more life in the series with a little bit more of a comeback? Still a goal that they need here to work with, but Rising Storm, anything can happen in 50 seconds or so.
That is a crucial goal there to break down that Tempest roster. Finally, they found their way through the defense. They just need one more now. They've got 40 seconds to do it as the ball floats back into their half. It's a little bit awkward there. And what a shot from Tomster. Again, that was an insane angle. They're looking to get a second now. Penny into the middle. Tomster will collect. Tomster shot to Llama. Back to Tomster. Shot deflected by Herd. What a team play from Owl Esports, but still read by Tempest. Now Cavern. Tomster forced to turn around, but no boost. He'll delay it. And can he get back there first? He can. Gets it round one. Looking for the ground pinch to a teammate, but a Deathcloud Tempest member will be there to collect it in 10 seconds left. Owl Esports need to get this ball to the other side of the field, but they missed. Now Trout has a shot. That's going to close it out. And Trout for Deathcloud Tempest. What a goal there. That is an unfortunate miss from Tomster off the backboard. And Deathcloud Tempest will capitalize. They will not let that one slip away. They say, we are going to solidify this Game 4 win. And they're going to be on match point here in the next 5 seconds, barring a miracle. That's going to do it. And Owls Esports are going down to match point. Not quite a best of 7 reverse sweep that's needed, But it's pretty darn close, as Deathcloud Tempest will take Game 4. They are now up 3-1 in the series. They need just one more. Owl Esports needs 3. And let's take a look at these statistics here. We see a lot of points coming out for Tomster. 500 points for Tomster, but Penny and Llama for the Owls Esports roster. Very big disparity there in their points. Not as much as Deathcloud Tempest. Again, Deathcloud Tempest, the top two, had a lot of points. A little bit of a lacking in the third, but still you see a much more overall balanced roster. It's the same problem that Owls Esports had in Game 2 and Game 1, where we're seeing just one player doing a lot of the heavy lifting here for this whole squad. And the other two are just kind of hanging back and letting it happen. Tomster had 5 shots all by himself, and that was one hell of a game for him. But again, his team a little bit behind him in terms of points. They need to be able to work together more. They need to be able to get those team plays, get those assists. Can they turn it around here in just a few moments when we go to Game 5? Deathcloud Tempest is on match point here. Haj, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think Owl Esports needs to change? How do you think they're going to perform as we head into match point for Deathcloud Tempest?
Owls is absolutely fine because I'm casting the game, and one thing to note quickly here is, as I've personally seen to every single member of the Deathcloud management's elimination from the season so far, I personally saw on my own team to getting Space Crisp knocked out. I then casted Razor's demise, and I mean, it's not looking like I'm going to see Trout fall here as well. But, you know, if Owls are able to do it, I might in fact be cursed. We'll see, though. Already into game number 5, like you said, I would love to see a little bit of pushback here from Owls. Do I want the Deathcloud win? Yes. Do I want it, you know, in a 4-1? No, I want to see this go the distance. I want to see it be entertaining. And it's already cleared long. It's a little bit difficult here at the start of this game for Owls to try and get out of this half. But maybe they just need Tomster. Maybe they just need a reset. Maybe they just need him to go the whole way. And he won't quite answer all of those calls, but certainly made a good job of it. Although that's a little bit of an interesting situation. That's a little bit dangerous. That's an open net and a little bit of a misplay. And not something you usually see in Master there. Llama bumped by Penny, then not able to quite control the ball how he wanted. It's just an open net. It's just a mistake, and it's one that might cost Owls Esports their entire season.
Not quite an open net there. They still had to work for it. Penny, I'm not quite sure if he was going to be able to get back to that ball. But either way, the demo came out on Penny, and then it was for sure an open net. But they still have to work for it. And that's what we really need to see here. We need to see Owl Esports. They cannot be making those communication mishaps, especially on the back post there when they are the last man back. That was very, very unfortunate there. That should not have happened. It came out of a bump. Llama wants redemption here, goes for the air dribble bump. And with a demo on the ground now, all of a sudden, Penny's the last man back. Has to put a hand up, does, but it's still floating dangerously over the backboard for Tomster to clear. Now Llama, hoping to get some offense, but a little bit of an awkward touch there, and Trout will clear it out. Tomster booms it in the midfield. But again, a Deathcloud Tempest player there immediately to pick up the ball. Llama now, shot for Penny. Back to Llama. Good! What a pass! And Owl Esports have put themselves back in it with one hell of a team play. Llama to Penny, back to Llama, and Trout can't read it, puts it right behind him. What a goal for Owl Esports. That is the team chemistry we need to see. What a play.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely wonderful. Trout just a little bit starstruck on the goal line, but how couldn't you be when you've got a shot coming through in a team passing play such as that? It's perfect there from Owls, but perfect needs to, you know, not just come in little sort of glimpses and glimmers. It needs to come across a whole 5-minute game and across a whole best of 7, and we've not really seen them produce that just yet. Now they're looking to recycle the play here. Not quite going to find the same sort of success on the other side of things. They'll be air dribbled over the top. Well dealt with by Owls, but that pressure is going to continue to come forward. Cavin's put it on the back wall. There's a lot of players, though, from Owls in the area ready to deal with it. They get it down the other side and are now looking to try and take the lead in their attack, but just don't quite have the players. Never mind, it was a boost bug. They do have boost and they do have the resources to continue this attack, and they most certainly will. But, I mean, I think the next goal in this one here, Rising Storm's really going to see how this, you know, game/series is going to start to unfold here for me, because obviously the series as a whole, very much Deathcloud Tempest favoured here. If Owls can start to put a couple of goals on the board, we've seen plenty of times Game 5s turn into Game 7s, turn into, you know, panicky moments for some teams, and things can get out of hand. So early stages here of a comeback, and certainly some more goals needed to be put on the board, but got to start somewhere.
I agree. And I think the next goal is going to be crucial here if Owl Esports can get it. They need to have good communication. Penny, one-on-one, but the challenge happens early and he gets it right over him. Now Cavern up high off the wall. It's cleared out by Tomster here to give Owls a little bit of relief on defense, which is what they so desperately need. Llama floats it over the midfield, but it's cleared out by Cavern. But Tempest looking a little bit more desperate here, and they just throw a player out there to clear the ball. And Owls Esports certainly making them a little bit scared. Awkward touch now, though, for Llama. But it'll get back on it, and again with the follow-up, gets it over one. Doesn't have enough boost to get it back in, but it's just off the crossbar. That was actually an open net. That ball could have been in. That was a scary moment for Tempest. Tempest looking a little bit more nervous here. Again, it's always harder to close out a series because the other team is just going to start fighting back so much harder here on this match point. Can Death Cloud Tempest hold out and get another goal? They're certainly looking like their defense is faltering a little bit here, but they've stayed consistent now. 1:10 to go here in Game 5 of this best of 7. A little bit awkward there for Llama, and Penny forced to clear it out. We'll let the ball get away from him, though, and now Hurd to collect. Hurd wants it over one, gets it over one, but gets demoed. An easy clear for Llama, who has a teammate. Omits the corner boost. A little bit of a fight there for the corner boost. 4 cars there. An almost insane dunk for Cavern, but it's saved by Tomster. Now Llama, last man back for Tempest. Tomster with the shot. It's deflected by Hurd. 42 seconds to go in Game 5. Penny now high on the backboard, making Hurd work on offense and defense. Hurd again, though, will get a flip reset, then an aerial demo to clear it out, and making Llama very awkward here. The challenge comes out for Owl Esports. Ball high in the field. Llama will get it out of nowhere. That ball did not look like it was going in. And Owl Esports, 28 seconds left, have gained the lead. And it was a team pinch off the ceiling, and no one could get there. And it was perfectly positioned. Team pinch off the ceiling, off the crossbar. And I believe it was also technically credited as an own goal there for Tempest. And that was absolutely magic. That is exactly the spot you needed to put the ball, and somehow out of nowhere Owl Esports have gained the lead with 16 seconds to go. They're fighting for the playoffs. They're fighting for their series, for their season here. They've got 10 seconds to hold it to take them to a Game 6 and then hopefully a Game 7 here. They want to go to the distance, and the next 3 seconds will decide it. Owl Esports gonna take it to Game 6 if this ball comes down. Llama wants the double. Nobody's there in net. Llama just can't find it. But Ozzy doesn't need it, and Owl Esports, what a show there in Game 5. And we're going to be heading to Game 6. This series is going at least a little bit farther here, and Owl Esports would love to take it to Game 7. And Hodge, I think if they're playing as they did there, if they're making that Death Cloud roster a little bit nervous like they seem to be doing, I think they can take it to Game 7. And I think I was a little bit off, but I think they can get it in 4 and 3.
They certainly could. They certainly could. It's about building that momentum, right? And having, you know, those plays that you could sort of call lucky in a sense. Pinch off of the ceiling, which looked a little bit chaotic, but at the same time, what works here, Rising Storm, and it allowed Owls to take the lead, get that game number 5 on the board, and it's just about building off that momentum, right? And at the same time, capitalizing off of your opponents not really being in the best form. Obviously, you know, when people are up with massive leads and then those leads start to fall away, people start to get a little bit nervous of the sort of idea of defeat, the idea of throwing away something like that. So if you're Owls, you've sort of got to play into that a little bit, and we will certainly see how they're going to do just that as we head on to Neo Tokyo here for game number 6. Tempest versus Aussie. Aussie looking to send us the distance all the way to Champions Field. Deathcloud Tempest want to close it out here and now. Will they be able to? That's the question we're going to answer.
The next 5 minutes will decide if we're going to Champions Field here. Both of these teams, like we mentioned earlier, in the lower bracket of the playoffs, they are fighting for their lives in the tournament, their lives and their legacy in Season 16 of RSC. Game 6, it all comes down to this. Can Tempest close it out in 6? Or will we see a Game 7 here? We've got 4 minutes and 44 seconds left to go as Owl Esports wants to get an early one. They won't quite find the angle here. But still, early offense for Owl Esports is not something we've seen very often, and they'll be happy to have that. Again, I think if Owl Esports can keep playing offensively like this, that is the key that they need. They have a great offense, but when they get a little bit awkward on defense, when they get low boosts, is where we tend to see Deathcloud Tempest shine. And so if they can put that offensive pressure on Deathcloud Tempest early, I think that's a great start to this Game 6 now. But still, scoreless. as the ball goes back and forth in midfield here. No one able to really get anything consistent so far, more than a few seconds. And Tempest, though, the pressure a little bit on for Owl Esports here. But Tomster there to clear it out, and he'll have it off the corner, too. Herd goes for the musty flick, but it just misses a little bit, and Cavern will collect. Still, though, pressure mounting here for Tempest as they have a player on the ball after every Owl Esports clear. A little bit of an awkward touch there for Tomster, just drops it right down, but nobody from Deathcloud there to collect. And they'll stay alive now. Trout up high, and it'll get deflected by Penny. And now shot coming on net. Penny backflips again to clear it out. Now Penny wants the double tap, but it's a little bit high, and nobody can get there. Everybody just says, we're going to back off. We're going to play it a little safe. 3 minutes 30 to go. Still scoreless, Hodge, in this Game 6. What do you think Deathcloud Tempest need to do to close this series out?
They to be honest, just need to go back to the sort of mentality of the start of the series, and even that feels like a push, right? I feel like a lot of these series can go sort of one way or the other so quickly, and it's just remembering that you are still the team in the lead, right? You do still hold the cards in this series, and while that last game from Owls might have maybe made them think a little bit otherwise, they still are the team who are on match point looking to close things out. Now they have a bit of an attack to work with, but it is these Owls players who just keep dodging and dancing around them, who look to try and gain the advantage. Now looking to go down opposite side of the field, will be taken away and sent back over to Penny. And Owls, I mean, they just look like they are playing more as a team here, which I said about Deathcloud at the start, but seems to have, fallen apart a little bit. And you're seeing, players getting beat to balls and they're not being a follow-up, or the follow-up comes too quickly and two players get beat. It's just a little bit chaotic, and order needs to be restored here if Deathcloud want to get this one over the line. But regardless, it is still 0-0. It is still an even playing field here in game number 6, and anything can happen. So to be said for Llama coming in flying from the heavens. Won't quite find the goal though.
Still 0-0. Very low-scoring game here, just like we saw in Game 5, but to an even higher extent. And I'm looking, and I think that the first team that scores a goal in this match is going to have a great chance at winning it. So if Tempest can just score first, I think they have a really good chance at winning this series. But Owl Esports has gotten the first goal. 1:50 to go here. And Penny turns around, sees it, gets it over one, and a bump coming out from Llama. That was a beautiful physical play there. And Owl Esports has barricaded up the goal, and they say, we're not letting you get any. 1-0, 1:50 to go. We want Game 7 here for Owl Esports. Cavern going to be the only man here that can change that right now for Deathcloud Tempest, but it's deflected by Penny. A little bit of an awkward touch there on defense, and all of a sudden Penny has almost got a shot on net. Trout, the last man back, forced to put a hand up. He does, but it's a little bit scary here for Deathcloud Tempest, and now all of a sudden they're on the back foot. They might be going to Game 7. They're thinking, where on earth did all of our lead go? It was 3-1 2 games ago, and now all of a sudden we're looking at a potential 3-3. How have we let this Owl Esports roster slip away? 1 and 18 seconds to go here. All Owl Esports has to do is play defense, waste time. Do not let Tempest get those bumps on you like they just did. But luckily, Tomster's still there to clear it out. 1:05 now to go. Owl Esports just wasting time here. Clear comes out. That's beautiful for them. Another clear. That is a huge time waster. Penny wants the shot. They'll get it! And Llama, the second goal for Team Owl Esports. Penny gets it round one. Llama backs off and says, Penny's got this. Penny gets it around a second on the goal line. The last man back did not see that Penny had a teammate to pass to. And Llama gets a second goal here for Owl Esports. All of a sudden, they have come alive here in Game 5 and 6. They now only have to have... Excuse me. No. Oh, okay. As soon as I stutter. Trout, what a goal there off a kickoff. And as I was about to say, they now have 2 goals to put up against. If it's back to 1 again. Trout off of the kickoff. Beautiful shot into the top left. 51 seconds to go now. And Deathcloud Tempest have broken through the Owl Esports wall. They now only need to get 1 more to tie the game and go to overtime in Game 6 on match point. Penny wants the flick, but they won't find it. And still, Owl Esports is holding on.
Certainly are. And Owl's holding on. But that could all change in 30 seconds or so. Trout passed down to Cavern. We hit up there by Tomster. And will Owls be able to find another one in the next 30 seconds? Will they be able to stop Deathcloud on this counter-attack, which is looking oh so dangerous? It rattles off everywhere, but the back of the net, and it just about means that Owls hold on to their goal lead. 10 seconds left here, Rising Storm. This one is looking like it could be done. But what a Deathcloud have to say about it in the final couple of seconds? Maybe nothing. Maybe they are silenced. Maybe they are taking us to Champions Field. It is chaotic. I feel like I am cursing Deathcloud here, and I really hate it. But Owls are taking us the distance, taking us to those hallowed halls of Rocket League, and it is with that we see the timeout coming through from Tempest here.
And you may very well be cursing Deathcloud Tempest, because what a performance we've now seen. Owl Esports 3-3, and it looks like Owl Esports didn't even realize that they had a timeout as Tempest takes their first one. So that's incredibly amusing, actually. But it worked out for them. They didn't need a timeout to come back. So they didn't even know that they had a timeout, and they still were able to come back. And now we're looking at a Game 7 Champions Field. Haj, what do you think that these rosters are going to have to do here? What do you think Owl is going to have to do? Do you think they have to change anything, or do you think with this momentum, with this offense that we've suddenly seen from them out of nowhere in these past 2 games, do you think that's going to be enough to pull them through to a win in this Game 7? Or do you think Tempest, after this timeout, is going to find a way to claw themselves back? What do you think is going to happen after that?
I think they've just got to, win the game.
Wise words.
I think they've got to win the game. I mean, obviously that is the case,
words.
but I think overall here, it's just going to be a case of mentality, I think, coming into this game number 7, right? Teams can crumble, teams can really, lock in and put games together. I think for Deathcloud, it's just going to be taking things back to the start of the series where, they came out swinging, they were able to grab the first couple of games. Owls are going to have all the momentum behind them here. And, Deathcloud, it's a difficult one to try and contend with, but you've just got to do your best here. And remember that it is the last game you might potentially play of the season, so if things don't necessarily go your way, just try and have some fun. And obviously, it's not what these players will be wanting. They'll be wanting to keep on pushing further and further in the bracket, but I think it's a good sign for both teams, right? Coming off of this game, the winner of this has got to go straight into another best of 7 against Shadow, right? So to go the distance in a series like this and maybe not have a massive break in between this one and the next one, it might actually help them out a little bit, whoever comes out on top of this one, Rising Storm, because you're not going to have that time where you've cooled down. You are going to be hot and ready to go coming into the next game almost, and that can sometimes sort of give you an advantage over a team who might just be coming in a little bit cold, and I guess might give you a bit of an early advantage in the series. But we don't know who that's going to be yet. It's just going to be whoever wins this game number 7. So can't wait when we get to the end of this timeout in about 20 seconds to see who comes out on top and see who moves forward in the bracket.
Yeah, we've seen great results from teams coming out of timeouts here. Can Deathcloud Tempest do the same? Can they turn it around here in Game 7? It all comes down to this. There are no more lives left. The timeout is over. Your time to wait is up. Tempest versus Owl Esports. Only one of them can continue their run in the playoffs. Only one of them can continue their Season 16. The next 5 minutes will decide who it is. Let's get started with Game 7.
Well, let's do just that. Who is going to move forward in the bracket here? And who is going to be eliminated and find their season over? Deathcloud have struggled in the past couple of games, but they want to put all those struggles to bed here. And maybe on that double tap, Trout is the person to do just that. But no, it's a missed touch. And now a little bit of a scamper back to the back wall. Missed touch as well. Will be saved there. But now the possession flipped over into the side of Owls. Llama can try and get it past a couple of players, but won't be able to succeed in the task. And it will just trundle out over onto Tomster, who is going to play this 50. He's had some good ones so far this series, but to no avail just yet. It's both of these teams just looking for stabilization in game number 7 here. And, well, we'll see which way it is going to go here, Rising Storm. But first goal, in my opinion, is so important in this one.
I agree. I think whatever team is able to open this game first is going to have a huge advantage. Owl Esports wants it. Penny might have it. It bounces off a 2. Adams, and a third Llama shot. They can't find the angle. It bounced off the crossbar, then the post, then Deathcloud Tempest, and then another shot went off the post. Penny now, no time to talk. We've got non-stop action. Owl Esports putting shot after shot on net. This is the Owl Esports I had hoped to see when I said they were going to go 4-2. They might very well go 4-3 here, though. They are looking strong. Herd, though, wants to get that first goal. Gets the flip reset, has a teammate, but it's deflected by Tomster, and they stay alive here. Owl Esports, nothing for either of these teams here. 3 minutes, 25 seconds to go in Game 7. Penny over 1, can't get it over the second, though. 2 members of Tempest up, shot high on the backboard, but it'll be deflected down now. Tomster will collect into the corner, has it off the wall, no boost to follow. Can he get the ball touch? He just barely can't. A little bit of an overcommit there for Owl Esports. They're forced to scramble back a bit, and Penny on the sidewall will collect. But it's dangerous for Tempest here. They've got a shot off the backboard. Follow-up. Good for Cavern. As exactly 3 minutes remain in Game 7, Deathcloud Tempest have broken through. They finally found a gap in the defense, and it was off of a double tap team pass here from Herd to Cavern. It was a well-earned goal, and they have opened Game 7. And we'll have to see now how Owl Esports will respond to that.
Certainly will. About halfway through this game we're getting towards now, and is that just in? Is that just downfield? Is that just a snipe? It looks like it is. You can't be giving those ones away. You really, really can't. And it looks like Owls might have themselves a way back into this one.
What a goal. Wow, what a goal there. You can't, like you said, Hodge, I agree. You cannot allow that to happen. They got caught so off guard there. Now Tomster just messing with him on the wall, getting a little bump there. Cavern wants to get over 1, but Penny puts a hand up and stops in midfield. The push from Deathcloud Tempest slowed down a little bit. Now Owls' turn. Owls on offense. Team pinch, or maybe a team bump there. It looks something like that. And it's followed up by Tomster, though, and the pressure's still on for Owls. One of them goes all the way back to get boost, and that'll relieve a little bit. Llama now looking for Tomster in the middle, finds him. Ball bouncing down. Llama fakes the shot. Penny up. Can't get there. Can get there. Around 1. Flip reset. Around 2. Penny! Oh, how was that not in? That was an incredible shot. I don't even know how that was saved. And Penny somehow did not get a goal there for Owl Esports. The flip reset with no boost to get around 1 defender, but the post just stopped the shot. Now Tomster wants the high double, but Herd to clear. And Owl Esports will be so sad that that one did not go in for them. 1:50 to go now in Game 7. And if this keeps up, we might have overtime. Penny, flip reset again for the pass! The shot goes in! It's good! Llama gets the follow-up. Penny, air dribble pass, flip reset to Llama, who shot just wide, but he landed perfectly, and he gets the follow-up. 1:44 to go, and Deathcloud Tempest, all of a sudden, 1-2 in Game 7. They had 3 games up to Owls' 1 in Game 4. And all of a sudden, they are losing Game 7 with 1:36 to go. This is a great chance. Trout wants the double down. Trout finds it! What a goal! I can't even speak about how they're about to lose because they'll deny it. Absolutely ridiculous angle there from Trout. How did he even find that ball? But he puts it top left and nobody from Owl can get there. What a shot to tie this game, to tie the series. And we are approaching golden goal territory here now in Game 7 with 1:26 left to go.
Certainly are, and just when you need someone to make the difference and bring some life back into your team, it is the miracle man of miasma from last season, and it is Cavern this time around. Deathcloud retake the lead here, and it's Owls being punished by what they were able to find against Tempest earlier on. The long snipe from downfield, and the lead regained, like I mentioned. Tempest now hold the cards. What can Owls do to try and say otherwise? Because we've seen so many responses throughout this series. We've seen Owls come back so many times, but now, just in the blink of an eye, they find themselves on the back foot. They find themselves trailing and find themselves 1 minute away from their season being over.
They are fighting for their season lives here. They need to get this ball out of their own half. They haven't been able to in a minute here. And Cavern, excuse me, Cavern makes it 4-2. And oh, that was one hell of a dunk. Trout now got it off the wall. Tomster tried to clear it out, but nobody could follow it up. And I read Penny's name instead of Cavern's, but Cavern 52 seconds to go. All of a sudden, DeathCloud Esports making Hodge's prediction dreams come true. They are 4-2 up right now in Game 7. Cavern's going to make it 5! And Cavern, 2 goals in a row. The MVP of this match so far. Owl Esports have just faced a heartbreaking series of goals. And all of a sudden, it looks like their season might be over now. They have 49 seconds to get 3 goals against this entire DeathCloud Tempest roster. That is such an unfortunate kickoff goal. And it looks like DeathCloud Tempest might be taking it here in Game 7 in regular time. Tomster wants to get it out, but he can't get over more than 1. Trout wants the angle. Trout almost has it. Hurd, though, keeps it on the backboard. Now Cavern with the shot on net, but it's deflected by Penny, who will clear. Penny looking for Llama. Llama fakes. 30 seconds remaining. They have to score a goal every 10 seconds, and that's 10 of them wasted right there for the clear from DeathCloud Tempest. 20 seconds to go now, and Owl Esports have somehow managed to let 3 goals in the last minute of Game 7, and that is where their season is going to end. What a performance, and like I said, the momentum can so quickly change here in these Game 7s. The team's fighting for it. Owl Esports not even playing the game anymore, and that is heartbreaking for that squad. What a series we just saw. DeathCloud Esports able to lift the curse, lift the Hodge curse, and make your prediction dreams come true. What a series we just saw from DeathCloud Tempest. They absolutely earned that right to be in the playoffs. They have survived the play-ins. They are now advancing. I'm not quite sure who they're playing next, but either way, they will be fully warmed up for it because that was one hell of a series.
It certainly was, right? It was a great series, and we've got to have a look at some of these post-series stats. And Cavern, the series MVP of that one, and with how many shots and goals and points in general, and everything that this guy was putting up, you really can't say otherwise, right? I think everyone on DeathCloud played impeccably, but you know, you've got to give the statistics over to Cavern on that one, give him the MVP for that series. I think overall, though, it's going to be an interesting one for DeathCloud. They've got to instantly reset, lock in, and, you know, get right back into the action because, as you mentioned, they're not done playing here, Rising Storm. They've got another match ahead of them, and, well, that next match ahead of them is going to be Shadow Esports. I wonder if we can just quickly pull up the bracket here from these from our play-ins here and see where we stand with things, because we've got a couple matches still left. We've got, you know, most of the play-in matches done, but we've got Abyss versus Tempest and then Vulcan versus Nox in that upper bracket. I mean, it's not over yet, right? We've already seen a Game 7. We've already seen Chaos, but it's just going to keep getting better and better, right?
I agree. And like you said, Tempest, great win right there, but they are not done yet. They were out very earlier, so they actually have to play one more game and win one more. They are not in the playoffs yet, but they have kept hope alive, and it is absolutely well earned there. We are going to see Abyss versus Tempest and Vulcan versus Nox up next. That was one hell of a series. Your prediction was correct. I will yield to you. That was a very good prediction. 4-3 Tempest. They earned that. And what are your thoughts and feelings? Give us something to wrap up this series with.
Well, I felt bad predicting against DeathCloud because I'm on DeathCloud, so I felt like I had to go and believe in the boys, but no, massive showing from them, and I know it's been a difficult season. Obviously, Red Mob leaving their star player earlier on in the season and trying to rebuild that roster a couple of times to get it into a position where they can, you know, contend in this bracket, and it's just a start, right? But you've got to start somewhere, and happy to see DeathCloud getting over the line, moving forward in the bracket to play against Shadow after this one. But speaking of Shadow, they're up next, and, well, speaking of DeathCloud, they've got to play again. Come back in about 5 minutes time because we have a couple more matches coming to you, and you've got one very, very shortly. Rising Storm, I believe you'll be rejoining us alongside Tazik, so I'm going to be heading off here, but we'll see if DeathCloud can continue to surge forward in this lower bracket, or if Shadow can upset them here and you know, really ruin the day of DeathCloud. We'll see, and we'll see right after this break. Goodbye.
Use struggle to rank up in Rocket League? Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTXAcademy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments and trophies won and thousands of dollars earned, I will tailor to your needs and make sure you get to that next level. I'm also doing discounted prices for the first 10 days, so you do not want to miss out. And you are also probably thinking,
CMOS, how do I book a session with you?
well, that's easy. Just open up that fancy browser of yours, type medify.gg/@cmasorl_, pick a session to your liking, book a time, and bang, you're booked, and I'll see you in the call. Once again, that's medify.gg/@cmasorl_.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
Well, welcome back, everybody. As you can see, a little bit of technical difficulties on my own end. I'm not sure why it's showing on the video. I mean, sure, but welcome back anyway, everyone. As we had saw, it was Aussie versus Tempest, a great series as well. That was Aussie coming out with, Tempest coming out with the win 4-3 in Game 7. Rising, you had the pleasure to cast that. How was it?
I'm still recovering. That was one hell of a Game 7 we saw. And a little bit of runaway in Game 7, but that series was some great Rocket League. I only hope this series can give us that same level because that was very, very good Rocket League we just saw. So I haven't seen this Abyss squad play, but I have seen Death Cloud Tempest play, and they are on top of their game. Only a 5-minute break, though, so they're definitely warmed up. But it makes me wonder, are they going to be a little bit tired out now because they've just spent the past hour playing some very, very difficult Rocket League? So let's take a look at some statistics here of these two teams together, and we'll see if we can get into some predictions before we get this match started. It's going to be another best of 7 today. These players are now officially playing for a slot in the playoffs. And so these two teams, 4th and 6th, respectively, but we just saw Death Cloud Tempest beat the 5th seed. So I'm inclined to vote towards them a little bit, even though we do see those statistics a little bit unfavored. So they've got 5 less wins, we've got a couple more losses, but again, these teams differentiated by so little that I think what's really going to matter here is the fact that Death Cloud Tempest just played a great best of 7. But what do you think? What is your prediction for this match, Tezek?
I'm with you on siding towards Tempest. I'm thinking it's going to be a 4-2, as the last 2 times these two teams played, it was either a draw or Tempest had won 3-1. So, I'm wondering, what is your prediction for today?
I'm gonna give you the exact same thing. I think I can't vote against Death Cloud Tempest again. They are looking so strong so far. I'm gonna say Death Cloud Tempest takes it 4-2. These teams are ready, so we're gonna get started very, very shortly here with this best of 7. Any final things before we head on into the game here?
Both sides are going to be looking to continue their season anyway, and hopefully be able to make it to those playoff days. And if you're Tempest, you're in a very comfortable spot because as of the last tiers, at least to the most of my knowledge, majority of the teams who won their lower bracket went through. So, realistically, Tempest have the advantage here. Those stats are looking incredible for Tempest, so we shall indeed see if they can continue that streak going.
I agree with you. I think these teams have waited a little bit too long. They are hungry. They are chomping at the bit. So without any further ado, we are going to get started here in just a moment. I think we're still waiting on some of the players here. So we're going to give them a few minutes to get in. But we've both got Death Cloud Tempest winning 4-2. Let us know what you have in chat here as we wait for one of the teams. I believe we're waiting for Shadow right now. But both of these teams have earned their place to be here. We just saw Death Cloud Tempest earn their spot in this one. Both of them are going to be fighting for a spot in the playoffs, so neither of these teams want their season to end here, but one of them will have their season end here. So we're going to get started in just a moment. Let's take a look at those statistics one more time before we do as we wait on this Shadow squad to get in here. Both of these teams very evenly matched as we're going into this match, so it's really going to come down to the nitty-gritty here. Is Shadow's statistics going to let them win it alone, or is Death Cloud's 7-game warm-up that they just had going to allow them to pull through with that chemistry that we know that they have together if you were here with me on the last stream? But without any further ado, we are going to get this best of 7 started here. Game 1 in just a few seconds. Abyss versus Tempest. Death Cloud Tempest, the favorite in the casting booth. It looks like they've got some fans in chat as well. We hope you guys are having a good day and enjoying the series. Without any further ado, we are going to get started here as these players take the field. Tezek, who do you think is going to open this game? How do you think they're going to have to perform as we get started with Game 1?
As I noticed with Abyss's stats, they had, I want to believe it was nearly 60 more demos, so if they can continue doing what they were doing in league play, then they could end up throwing off Tempest's attack and their rotations, so it could definitely go the way of Abyss here. However, I believe with how well Tempest were playing, granted they looked a little shaky in the 2 games before Game 7, but they will need to be on their A game immediately, otherwise it will be a very big issue.
I agree. Without any further hesitation, these teams are ready. We are ready. We're going to get started here with Game 1 of your best of 7 on Manfield Night. These two teams are both ready. Deathcloud Tempest, we've seen them perform. We have not seen Shadow perform so far. How are they going to do it differently here? How are they going to change it up? But Deathcloud Esports are looking great so far, and I think they have a good shot at winning this one. On your Shadow roster today, we've got Daniel, Caitley, and Sylvia. And we've got our Trout, Cavern, and Herd like we saw last game. And it's scary there for Deathcloud Esports. The ball floating right in front of the net here, but still nothing. There we are. Cade is going to open the series for Abyss. What a shot there off of a pass from Daniel. And that was a great, almost a bump there it looked like, but I'm not quite sure if they made contact. But either way, nobody from nobody from Tempest could put a hand up. And Shadow will open Game 1.
Yeah, and that is a great play and a great way to start this series, and we'll see if Tempest can find a way back in quickly, or if they'll struggle. There's a good demo coming out in the back line, but we see now Trout just having to take control and hopefully get this one up to this guy. He gets the shot off, and that is a great shot as well. That's an unlucky attempt for the save, and they've quickly evened this score immediately.
What a goal there for Deathcloud Tempest, and that was exactly what they needed. 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go here in Game 1, and they have tied it all up. So we're back to square one, and neither of these teams has the lead here, as Cade forced to clear it out from his own backboard. A little bit of an awkward first touch, but he'll stay with it, and gets round 1, but not too much farther as he runs out of boost midfield. Now Daniel up, but again no boost for the follow-up, and Abyss getting a little bit caught off guard here with no boost to follow up these plays, and that's not really helping them get some pressure on Deathcloud, who are very warmed up. And I'm sure that Abyss has also been warming up in this series before this by playing their own scrims, but they haven't played against a team on the level of OWL Esports that Deathcloud Tempest just did. And so we'll see if it really helps them. But it was a great start for both of these teams. They've each gotten a goal, and we'll see if they can continue that as we head into the second minute of Game 1 in your best of 7.
Yeah, Daniel having to cut out a quick attack, but it just falls straight back to the Tempest player. Cadley able to make the save. Can try to intercept it. You can't. Cavern able to get there in time. Daniel has to be up quickly, otherwise that could have just fallen in the midfield, and might still do that. And that shot is just wide, and Troy is going to try keep some of the pressure on. Try to maybe find some bumps. Can't do so. Cadley's able to take it away. Finds his way off of the post. There's a near shot coming out, nearly a double coming out, doesn't find its way into the Abyss net, and Tempest, they are going to try keep this pressure on. They don't want to let Abyss have any freedom on the ball, and they're going to try and make sure that they get ahead in this game.
And looks like Sylvia is the one leading that demo statistic for Abyss here. We've seen a couple goals, but it's not working out here. Excuse me, I meant a couple demos. But there's a couple goals for you. Cavern going to put it away for Deathcloud Tempest off of a ceiling attempt from Herd. Cavern, what a dunk on the follow-up. Just moves it right in front of them, and nobody can find it here for Abyss. And all of a sudden, Deathcloud Tempest have the lead as we head into the second half of Game 1 here. A little bit of an awkward kickoff there for Abyss, but Sylvia will collect. Shot on net. Can he get there? No! Trout can't get back, and Sylvia will tie it up. And the theme of this game, apparently, is as soon as someone scores, the other team immediately ties the game. It's a kickoff goal coming out for Abyss. And that is a great shot there to tie the game for him. And Deathcloud Tempest back to square one again. We are all tied up. Trout wants to make it not a tie, though. Has Cade back. And still nothing comes out of it, though, but some good pressure here early for Deathcloud Tempest. And that's what we saw them do so well in that previous series against OWL Esports. If you were here with us watching that one as well, we saw them get that good offensive pressure. They were so consistently able to make the other team work for it. And they're already doing that to this Abyss squad here. They're making them jump on defense. That's a mistouch. Can Trout collect? No, he's bumped out of the way. And still Abyss stays alive here, 2-2. Daniel now shot with Cavern in the goal, but will get past it. And now Cade to follow it up. Cade has one, gets beaten by Trout though. And Trout will follow it up now. As Cavern tries to collect, Cade back in his own corner, has to get this one out, has one on the ceiling lurking, gets it round one. Now Herd tries to collect it, but Cade back on the ball. Now Cavern for Deathcloud Tempest, goes up high, has the flip reset, looking for it, gets it. Can't find the shot though, it's deflected by Daniel. And still 2-2, a minute 40 to go here in game one. A breakaway here for Abyss, but Herd there immediately to intercept and turn it right back around for Tempest. Now Cavern with the follow-up. That's something that Tempest does so well, is have a player on every single ball that gets floating. Herd now shot low, makes him work for it, and every single time there's a ball, you see a player from Deathcloud Tempest right there to catch it. And that's what they've been doing so well in both of these series so far, is they've been able to intercept all of those passes and turn them into offensive pressure. Now Herd wants the bump, but he can't get it on Daniel. And Daniel will make the save. A minute 8 to go now in game one.
Yeah, and we can see the pressure still mounting on from Tempest. Harlow's trying to get a good 50, does indeed. It falls to the corner. Sylvia has to pick it up, but hits it just a little too hard, and Trout's able to intercept it immediately. We see Harlow's, again, just trying to be a bit of a nuisance in the back end. Can't do much, however, to throw the rotations. Trout misreads that bounce. We see Daniel taking great control of it, but it gets 50'd out immediately by Hardlos. And Cadley has to try to do something. Can't do much, just gives the ball away to Cavern. And it seems as though, even though this game is so even, and Trout, with an amazing shot coming out, Sylvia hits it up onto the side, gets intercepted by Hardlos, and Trout is able to find that corner and pick out a extra goal to bring this Tempest team one goal up.
What a goal there from Trout, the clutch player here for Deathcloud Tempest. 30 seconds now is all they have to do to hold on to the lead, and they will have taken 2 game ones in a row here in this series. Sylvia, though, wants to tie it up, but Trout, again, back on defense, the defensive and offensive MVP of this Deathcloud Tempest roster so far from what we've seen. Now Cavern wants to get a shot on net, looking for pressure. Cavern has a bump. It's floating in front of net, but nobody's there to follow up. Deathcloud Tempest says, we don't need to play risky. We have the lead. We just need to make you waste time. 2 seconds left now. The ball still up. Cavern wants it, but it'll just drop. And Deathcloud Tempest, once again, have taken game one in the series. Let's take a look at the statistics for that game. Very well done from that roster. We see a little bit of a score disparity, but not too bad. They are all working together pretty evenly. Combined total of 4 saves and 13 shots there for that Deathcloud roster. So a lot of offense coming out from them, and that is really what gave them that win against Abyss.
That is an incredible way to start the series if you are Tempest. Trout, Harlos, and Cavern getting away incredibly well, played extremely well as well, might I add. They kept the pressure on, they didn't let Abyss have any time on the ball. They just made sure that they could get ahead even whenever it went back to an equal game, even when they went down. They kept that pressure on. They didn't change up at any point. And they made sure that Abyss know, you may be a higher seed, you may have finished higher in the league, doesn't matter. We are here to beat you. We are here to get through to the playoffs. And that is a great message to show in game one.
Yeah, and what a game one it was. It was goal after goal. It was back-to-back. But neither of these teams taking a timeout. We are going to go right back into game two. We didn't really expect any delays, and we're not going to get any. Back to Forbidden Temple for game two. Deathcloud Tempest looking to continue and extend their series lead. Abyss looking to get their first game here as we head into game two. And it looks like we had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but these players... And we're going to pause here. It's a little bit of a technical problem. I think one of the players is a little bit late to join. Maybe some lag here. We're going to reset, and we'll start again from kickoff in just a moment here. Here we go. Game two. No more delays. No more technical pauses. Everybody's in. Everybody's ready. And we're going to get started without any more hitches here. Sorry about that one, folks. But we're all ready now. And Deathcloud Tempest, like I said, looking to extend that lead. Abyss looking to get their first game here. And this first minute is going to show how these teams have changed up their strategy after game one. Deathcloud Tempest don't really need to change anything, but I'd love to see some more offensive pressure from Abyss. There it is, but deflected by Trout. And Daniel's shot gave them nothing. And Abyss, first 30 seconds, a little bit of pressure here. Deathcloud Tempest with just one player can relieve that. Hard loss, able to get it out. Daniel, round one. Looks for the demo. He can't find it. And it'll be cleared out for Tempest. Now Hard Loss looking for a teammate. Has Cavern. Cavern can't quite get there, though, and Catalan will get it out. Or Cataly. Now Trout looking for the ground play. Gets it round 1. Gets it round 2. Can he get the third? Challenges, but it's even, and Hard Loss has it. But it's just deflected out, and scrambling back now is Death Cloud Esports to get that ball out of the net. That was almost an open net that they had there. A little bit of a scary moment there. And Daniel's shot. Can Cavern get there? No! It's going to be a Daniel goal to open the game for Abyss. And Daniel all of a sudden found the open net. All of a sudden he realized the last man has committed. And that was a beautiful goal there for Daniel to open the game for Abyss. That's exactly the type of thing we need to see from them here in this game 2 if they want to tie the series and turn it into a best of 5. And Tempest is going to answer immediately. And Cavern is going to shut me up. That is a goal for Death Cloud Tempest. Sylvia tries to deflect, but it's a wonderful dunk from Trout. And then Trout bumps the last defender, gives Cavern a beautiful open net there. That is a very, very good team play done by Trout. And working together like that, being selfless, going for the other team instead of the ball when you know that your teammate's going to have a much better shot if you can just get a bump on them. That is the type of team play that wins you these games, and it's what got Death Cloud Tempest the first goal. But Cataly is going to give Abyss their second, a doomsy dish, dunks on Trout on the wall, gets back to the ball, and nobody in net can stop him. And the Fiery Skull lights up your screen there as Abyss now 2-1 again. Every time these teams score, the other team just has to get one back immediately is the trend. Neither of these teams can stand to see the other one have a lead for too long. And this game 2 is going to continue as we go into the second minute here. Abyss looking for a third, but they can't quite find it. And Death Cloud Tempest a sigh of relief there as they get the ball out of their own half.
Yeah, and we can already see Abyss has changed their playstyle completely. That's a great pinch that could have nearly found its way in, but it was just at the wrong angle, and you'll have to feel for Tempest there. There's a good demo coming out from Cadley. Can Hardlos, however, do anything here with the rotation being a little low? Cavern getting a great 50. Cadley has to go up immediately, gets beat out by Hardlos. Cavern tries to find the shot, nearly does, and that's an own goal coming out. And that's Sylvia. There looks to be a little bit of miscommunication. And Sylvia has put it in to their own net.
And that is what you hate to see. That was a complete deflection. It was going the opposite direction there for Abyss. And just the wrong place at the wrong time. And the series is all tied up now as we head into the third minute of Game 2. Abyss would love to take this one. They do not want to let that Death Cloud roster get closer and closer to match point, just as they saw happen last time, because even when they take it to 7, Death Cloud Tempest has the potential to put it away after 7 games. And this Abyss squad would like it to be much less than that. The shot coming out from Trout, but it's deflected away by Daniel, as I believe that's how it's pronounced. And now Cataly wants it. But Hardlos is going to take it away. Daniil coming in for the shot. And again, they go low, and Tempest will relieve the pressure. Now Sylvia up for nobody. Trout will intercept. It's high on the backboard. It's almost in, but Cataly forced to deflect. Now Hardlos down and almost in. Almost another own goal there by the looks of it. And Sylvia, again, that physical play coming out for Abyss, but it hasn't really given them much so far. Cavern has Trout in the middle, but it's deflected by Sylvia. Now Hardlos has the ball off of his own corner. Going for the ceiling. It's away from him, though. And Daniil will take it. Now Cavern, a little bit of a dangerous clear there. Goes right in front of his own net into the corner. Can't get the follow-up. Catalan shot. Almost good. Hardlos on no boost. Finally found the touch. And it was just enough to deflect it off of the goal. And still 2-2. A minute 44 to go in Game 2 of the series. This is going to be a best of 7. So both these teams have a lot more lives. But the winner of this goes to the playoffs. The winner of this has their season ended. And Daniil forced to make a little bit of an awkward save there, but he makes it happen. And still nothing for either of these teams in the past minute.
Yeah, and we can see Cavern trying to get a solo play through, and he does! That is an incredible way to get that lead again. It's back to 3-2 like it was in the first game. Beautiful flip reset, gets over one, and finds the way to get over Cadley and just push that one further into the top corner. And with 1:23 left on the clock, Tempest need to hold this lead out if they can. We obviously know the trend of it being a very quick equalizer. However, with how this Tempest team have played so far, I don't know if Abyss will be able to get one. Cavern with a great 50 coming out. Sylvia has to try and follow it. Doesn't get a great touch. Hardlos goes and takes the ceiling shot. Maybe try to find a second touch. Cavern, however, takes over. Hits it off the corner. Tries to find the pass midfield. Nearly does. But Hardlos wasn't expecting the second touch to come out. And Trout just has to try and control this one and slow the play down a little.
And Deathcloud Tempest just trying to waste time at this point. The ball bouncing around midfield. Abyss cannot get past more than one Tempest member. And Trout trying to find Cavern there, but he couldn't quite get there in time. Hardlos now off of his own pass. Can't find it. Cavern can, but Daniil is there to save. And Abyss stay alive. 30 seconds to go here in Game 2 as Deathcloud Tempest lingering on 2 games in a row with a win here. Hardlos booming into the backfield. Has it on the backboard. Cavern shot goes wide. And Abyss stays alive now. Daniil demoed on the corner by Cavern. Now Trout has the follow-up, but Cataly will get there first. And Hardlos keeping it alive in the center for Deathcloud Tempest. They want a second goal to solidify the win. Hardlos to the backboard, looking for a teammate. Nobody there. Ball still up for Abyss. Hope still alive, but Tempest will put it down. And Tempest will take 2 games in a row. Deathcloud Esports advancing 2-0 in the series in the best of 7. Let's take a look at those statistics for Game 2. Cavern going to be your MVP for that one. 5 shots on net from just him here as we head towards Game 3. But Tempest, a very well-deserved 3-2 win here. And we see a little bit of a score disparity here. Only 60 points from Sylvia. Couple demos coming out, but again, if those demos aren't well-timed, if they're not good in the rotation, and you put yourself too far up the field, all of a sudden you've given your teammates a very, very difficult defensive thing. We're going to take a timeout here for Abyss. They're going to reset here. They're going to give us a few minutes to talk about it. They're going to give themselves a few things to talk about it. And we are going to be back in a few minutes. But we're going to take a quick little timeout here for Abyss. They're going to talk about it. Let's see. But Tezek, I got to know, what do you think they're going to be talking about in this timeout? What do you think they're going to be changing in this timeout as we wait for the next match to start?
They'll probably be talking about a few things. How to try and keep maybe the likes of Trout and Cavern, who's played phenomenally in that game. Try to find a way to keep them off the ball as much as they can. Try to put some more pressure on. As I mentioned before, the demolition stats being completely in the favor of Abyss. Maybe try to find a way to bring them into this game. Try to just reset the mental. Try to just cold out Tempest, especially after the fact that they had that Game 7 earlier today. And they'll just try to slow them down instead of trying to speed up. They're going to try to make as little mistakes as possible. We obviously seen the own goal from Sylvia as well from that last game, which probably hurt the mental a lot, especially for Sylvia. So they're just going to try reset themselves, figure out what went wrong, try to slow down the play as much as they can for Tempest, and try to maybe match the speed of Tempest when they can't slow it down. And I'm wondering if they can bring this back.
I agree with you. I think they're really going to need to slow down the pace of play. They need to stop making those mistakes. They're looking at themselves and saying, we can win this. We've proven it before. We can win games like this in the roster. We are technically ahead of them in the seed for the season. We want to go to the playoffs. We just need to slow it down. We need to stop making those mistakes on defense. And I really think if all 3 of those players begin performing at the same level, I think we need to see a little bit of a step up from Sylvia in terms of just the score in the game. But I really think that's just because Sylvia was going for more of those physical plays. But I think if we can see those more, then it'll be a great chance for this squad to come back. But we've got 10 seconds left in the timeout. We're going to Game 3. Deathcloud Tempest 2-0 in the series. Abyss looking to turn things around after a timeout. We've got just a couple seconds remaining, and we are going to get started here in Game 3. And we'll have to see if this squad can change anything up here. What will they do? What will they have changed? Will it be enough to win a game against this Deathcloud Tempest roster, who are doing so well here in this series and the last? They are fighting so hard for their chance to be in the playoffs. Trout wants to start it early, but it's still denied, and Abyss will stay alive right now in the first 10 seconds. No kickoff goals coming in so far, but that very well might change as this game progresses.
Yeah, and we shall indeed see if they can find a way to bring this one ahead. Cadley with the musty tries to find something, can't get the second touch, and Trout just has to quickly be there for the 50 to get that one cleared. Trying to follow up the hit from Cavern, can't do it. They all kind of back out, trying to take a little bit of less risk compared to what they've been doing. Hardos trying to find the touch, doesn't get it, actually misses the ball completely. Cavern has to take control of this one, gets a great 50 on Daniil. Can Abyss find a way back into this series, or will Tempest just run the show like they have done the last 2 games?
Yeah, and here comes Catalan looking to change the name of the game for Abyss here, going for the ground play. I would love to see more consistent offense from Abyss. They haven't really gotten a huge look at the Deathcloud Tempest goal, and I think if they can get that, if they can start getting those passes flowing, if they can get that proper rotation, maybe even start those physical plays connecting, because I think those physical plays will work for them. They just need to put them in the right place, and it needs to happen at the right time, and so far that's not been the case. Daniil wants it off the backboard, but not got enough boost for the follow-up, and he'll wait for a Tempest member to clear it out. 2 up for Tempest. Cavern shot, but it's just wide of the open net, and Deathcloud Tempest could have had the lead right there. Trump will make it happen. And finally, that open net was way too long there for Abyss. Sylvia clears it out, but again, last one back, and can't get back to the ball in time, and nobody else is there for Abyss. And they've gone down 1. 3 minutes, 27 seconds to go. Deathcloud Tempest have taken the lead again in Game 3. They are looking for match point in this series.
Yeah, and that was a great shot coming out, and that's an even better one coming out from Cavern. Oh my word, how has he found a way to do that? Trout passes it up to him, he gets the touch down low, and just about gets that angle. What a shot coming out from Cavern, and if this is how they play after getting a timeout put against them, Tempest have no chance to come back.
And Deathcloud Tempest looking so strong right now. This makes you wonder, are they going to be playing like this if they get to the playoffs, which is certainly looking likely right now? Are they going to be playing like this tomorrow, maybe even Sunday? Because if they are, they have one hell of a chance to compete in the playoffs and win this tournament. But they want it so bad right now, and Abyss is fumbling a little bit here. They want some offensive pressure right now. Sylvia will get it on the backboard. But again, we've seen as soon as they even get it close to the backboard, that's an open net. Can Cavern get there in time? No, Catalina will get back. But now Trout with the follow-up. Trout backwards. Can he get back to the ball? He can! And something we've seen from Abyss 3 times in a row now. Only one defender back, and that defender gets bumped. The second defender comes in and goes for the demo. But they don't get it. And Trout able to recover so well from being completely backwards behind the ball. Will recover in time to get a 3rd goal for Deathcloud Tempest as we head into the second half of Game 3. And this roster is looking better than ever. And I should definitely not have predicted against them in the last series, because I probably cursed them into winning everything now, because this squad has just been performing for all of us.
Yeah, and they are playing incredibly, especially after that timeout being put against them. They've kept that pressure on. They have not changed at all. Nearly finds a shot there, but Daniil is able to get there just about in time. Hardlow's trying to find something himself. Can't do it, however. Cadley just tries to make it a little awkward for the players on Tempest. And we see a little double commit, possibly a bit of miscommunication. We see Trout going for a ball, tries to maybe find the pass, but gets cut out by Cadley. Hardlos has to be up for the touch, otherwise that could have just dropped into the net. That's a great clear coming out from Cavern. Can either one of these... Can Tempest find a way back into this game? And that's 2 demos coming out from Hardlos. We see Cavern just taking control of this, bringing it back to his own side. Gets the reset. Can he find something? Gets over 1. Can't find his second teammate. Sylvia is able to control it. Gets a good 50, but Harlos is able to intercept and bail out the Abyss side from conceding the first goal within this game.
Here comes Daniil looking for it, but he won't find it, and it's cleared out by Trout. Daniil on the wall, passing back to his teammate. Cadley's going to wait for this one, collect it, and take it very, very slowly. On the ground, gets it around 1, but no boost for the follow-up, and Cavern back pass to Hardlos. And it's just bouncing around in the midfield, but Tempest is happy to just sit with that and just keep the pressure on a little bit, but not make anything risky. Trout now wants the double. Trout has it, but it's deflected by Cadley, and they'll stay alive. But again, we see those demos coming out in perhaps the wrong places. And Hardlos has the shot, but it's deflected from behind by Cadley. What a defensive play there. But with 48 seconds to go, after the timeout. It looks like Abyss is going to be losing game 3, barring a miracle here. Cadley needs to make it happen. Flip reset. Demo's on 1, but it's still nothing. The ball floating high, deflected again by Trout. And Daniil looks for the back pass. Cadley there, but it's too early. Now Sylvia, last one, but bumped out of the play with 30 seconds to go. They need to score every 10 seconds. They haven't gotten a single goal this match so far. In the midfield, but Daniil not turned around in time. Sylvia has a chance here. Air dribble goes low, fakes it, but Cavern reads immediately. Now Cadley to the back wall, deflected by Hardlos. They just need to waste time here. Daniel has to get a goal here in this play with time enough to score 2, but barring a miracle, that is not going to happen, and Death Cloud Tempest going to be taking game 3 here with 3 in a row, and they get a perfect game there. No goals let in, and they'll let it drop. What a game there for Death Cloud Tempest off of a timeout. That really makes you think not great things for Abyss. If you're an Abyss fan in chat, they need you right now. They need to hear you, so let them know. But you Death Cloud Tempest fans are certainly louder right now, and they are putting on a performance for all of us. Let's take a look at those statistics in the match. We see very low scores on the side of Abyss. They're not getting a lot of touches on the ball. They're not getting a lot of shots, not a lot of saves. Most of it's just coming from Cadley, who got 3 saves credited to him. Whereas that Death Cloud Tempest, 500 points, 400 points, almost 200. We see a combined total of only 3 saves, but 7 shots. And so they were getting a lot more offensive pressure against this Abyss roster. And what do you think they're going to have to change? What do you think Abyss can do to stop this freight train that's currently barreling down on them, Zeke?
I'm not sure if there is much that they can do, to be honest, because like they tried their best with that timeout. But if anything, that made Tempest grow stronger on it. And if Abyss want to find a way to get into the playoffs on Sunday, they're going to need to reverse sweep. And as far as I remember, I could be wrong now, but as far as I remember, in the play-ins, there's only been 1 reverse sweep, and that was Islet versus Incus and Prospect here. And even then, that was a case of Islets became and actually decided to wake up within that series. Abyss need to wake up now, otherwise their season is over and they won't be able to do anything either.
What's interesting is this is actually the higher seed. There's a good shot, and that's a good outlook for Abyss here. Daniil looking to keep the pressure on. But what's interesting is that Abyss is the higher seed in this match, but they are not playing like it right now. I think they really need to find that chemistry, maybe that physical play that perhaps intimidated the opponents into a mental game here. But either way, this Abyss is not playing as well as we would expect them to. They need to pull it together here in game 4. They cannot let Death Cloud Tempest win this one, or like you said, their season is over. So I agree with you. I think they need to really pull themselves together as a squad and make this Death Cloud Tempest team work a lot harder than they currently are for the goals, because they just make it look easy. Hardlos wants it, and Cadley will deflect and keep Abyss pressure off. Trout now to Cavern. Cavern gets there first over Daniil. Now Hardloss shot. Good bottom right, and it's credited as an own goal, but Hardloss earned every bit of that one. Cavern gets there first. The shot deflected off the corner. Sylvia can't get there in time, and Hardloss knows exactly where to put it. Bottom right. Nothing that anybody from Abyss can do once it got past Sylvia. And that is an opening goal for Death Cloud Tempest in game 4, your best of 7. Hardlos putting in the work and earning that one well-deserved. It was a team play for all of them, and they will open this game and put the pressure on Abyss in the first minute here. And Abyss fans, we need you to be louder in chat because they are struggling right now.
Yeah, and as we've seen, Tempest again just playing incredibly well. Abyss need to be alive right now, otherwise this could be a big mistake coming out. We see Trout getting control of that ball, able to get past one, doesn't get past the second. Caverns up quickly to it, however. Did he find the flip reset? I don't think so. He tried to play it to the corner, got beat out. Daniil able to just hit that one long, try to maybe put some more pressure on, maybe force a mistake to come out. But with the way that Tempest are playing, that's just not going to be happening.
And Abyss now, they need their first look in over 7 minutes of gameplay. They have not scored a goal in more than 7 minutes. They didn't score any last game, and it's been 2 minutes of gameplay so far. They need to break through that Death Cloud Tempest wall so badly for both their mentality and their ability to win this match, but nothing so far as the first half ticks away. That's an attempt. Finally, we get a shot credited for Daniil, but again, it's deflected by Hardlos, and they're forced to take it all the way back. Now, Cadley going to clear it off of the backboard, flip reset to help him, and another flip reset to help him. That'll get it over one, almost in, all the way from the back corner. That was one hell of a shot, but still nothing for Abyss. Now only one back. Cadley, no boost, can't get there, and Trout will put it away. Deathcloud Tempest are looking stronger than ever here, and Trout knew that there was only one man back, knew that Cadley probably didn't have boost, and Cadley just couldn't put a hand up there. And 2-0 as we head into the second half of Game 4. Deathcloud Tempest looking to sweep Abyss Shadow.
And they very well could. That goal could be the nail in the coffin. And even if it isn't just yet, I doubt that there's much Abyss can do as that shot comes through. But Daniil able to come out in time. Cadley has to push that one away. Did he find Daniil? He does. Tried to get the touch. Couldn't get that on target, however. And we see Hardlos just taking control, taking to the sky. Can he get over one? He gets the 50, gets over another. But Daniil's able to cut it out before anything dangerous comes of it. Daniil just trying to be a little bit of a nuisance on the backboard. Sylvia trying to find the net. Hits off the post. Cadley trying to maybe just keep some pressure on. Find a way back into this game. But with the way it looks, Tempest are going to be going through in a 4-0 sweep.
That might be an own goal. It is! That's going to be an own goal for Deathcloud Tempest. Let's take another look at what happened here. So Daniel hit it off the wall. Cavern was trying to back pass, ended up flipping and hitting it so far forward that nobody could collect the back pass except for the net. And so Abyss have hope now. They have kept hope alive because of the strangest own goal I've ever seen from Deathcloud Tempest. And Trout looking for the redemption here, but he can't find it. Abyss now, they have hope. 1:20, they only need to get one now. That was almost a gift from Cavern. Cadley gonna be there to intercept before anybody can get a hand on it. Now Daniil pops it up looking for a teammate, but he's only gonna find Trout, who's gonna get there first and keep the pressure off of him. And Deathcloud Tempest looking for another one. They might have found it. Two defenders up a little bit too far, and they get it over him. But Cadley will save it. Cadley gets the boost. Cadley now off the wall, has hope for Abyss. Off the backboard, looking for the double. It's the angle! But Trout there in net will deflect. What a shot for Abyss. It's so unfortunate that one didn't go in. But immediately now, Cavern to Cavern looking for a teammate, but he can't find him. To Hardlos. And now Cadley looking for the double, but no boost. 40 seconds remaining for Abyss to stay alive in the season. And Daniil will do it! What a double tap! Oh my goodness! Cavern pops it up again. Daniil says, I'll take that, collects it, puts it high, knows it's going down. What an angle. And he finds it from the top. 36 seconds to go. We are all tied up. This Abyss squad has come alive here with their last breaths in the series. They do not want to go out that easily. We are finally seeing that spark of offense. They're looking for a pass, but it's intercepted now. Trout wants to put it away in regular time. Hardlos shot. Cadley dangerous, just waited there, but Hardlos missed. And that keeps Abyss alive. 20 seconds to go now in Game 4 with the series on the line for Deathcloud Tempest. Hardlos going to clear it out. 13 seconds to go now. Hardlos could score off this play. They want to do it in regular time. Cadley wants to do it. Air dribble over one. Can he get it over two? No. Cavern makes the save. Now Daniil with the follow-up off the corner. Looks for the angle. Looks for a teammate. But the ball will drop and we will go to overtime in Game 4.
Yeah, and this is something Abyss might have actually needed rather than letting Tempest find a way to come back in the last few seconds, especially since they've been playing so well. Apart from that own goal and apart from the goal that led up for Daniil, they've played so well, and Abyss just need to try and find a way to maybe take this game at least and take it game by game. So we'll see if they can, and if so, will it be of ease or will it be due to a mistake coming out from Tempest? We see trying to do something. Cadley is able to just clear it away. Hardlos booms that one up, but gets demoed by Sylvia. Sylvia actually having an extermination currently, so been very aggressive and physical within this game already. We see Cadley trying to find the corner read, nearly did, but just couldn't make contact with the ball in time. Cavern getting a second touch, making that a bit awkward. Daniil low boost, Trout having to go up as well. Cadley gets it around Trout and tries to find the shot. He does get it, and that is incredible from Cadley just to try and save Abyss's season.
And Cadley has done it. What a shot. Air dribbles it over one. Flip resets it over the other two. Abyss have found the miracle. They have taken a game. They are now 3-1 in the series, and that was a very deserved win. Let's take a look at some of those statistics. Again, the own goal saved them, and Death Cloud Tempest, if they lose this series, are going to be kicking themselves. They have once again gone to match point and then lost a game. So we will see here now what this Abyss squad can do. Again, reverse sweeps are so rare that it is basically impossible, but not statistically impossible. It can happen. This Abyss squad statistically is better than Death Cloud, but right now they need to prove it, and the only way they're going to be able to prove it is in these next 3 games. They cannot lose more than 1. So great game. I think if they keep playing like that, they're going to be able to keep it up. We saw a total of 10 shots from Abyss. But Tazik, what do you think Abyss is going to need to do? Do you think they need to keep this momentum? How do you think the timeout that Tempest has is going to affect them?
I feel as though Abyss, they not necessarily were lucky, but they did make use of the Tempest mistakes. They did make mistakes, but due to... I believe that's the only reason that even went to overtime, let alone the game win for Abyss. Because if those 2 mistakes didn't happen, this could have already been game. This would have been a 4-0 sweep. But Abyss will need to take that in their stride, try to bring something forward, get back in the series. They just have to take it game by game. And we'll see at the start of this kickoff if they can try to maybe start something going. But that's quick pressure from Tempest immediately coming through. Trout finding the second touch. Cadley is able to stop it, however. Takes it to the sky, gets the reset. Can he do something? Gets it past one. Sylvia's there for the shot, but can't find the net. Trout's able to get the 50 on Hardlos. It just plays straight to him, and that's a great fake coming out. Tries to find the pass to Trout, does get it, but Daniil trying to make it a bit awkward. The shot comes through, but it doesn't find the target. And if Abyss can keep playing like this, they might have a chance to come back.
Abyss looking stronger than ever. Shot coming out from Trout, deflected by Cadley. And they'll collect the boost again. And Abyss lurking like sharks now, but that Death Cloud Tempest roster is not letting up the pressure. They are not putting their foot off the gas at all. They are not playing safer or quieter or anything like that. They are going for the double tap, but Cavern just can't quite find it. Now Daniel has it. And Trout in the midfield looking for something. Daniil will collect on the ground. Again, nothing for either of these teams. Cavern, 1v1 against Cadley. Neither of them have boost. And Trout wants to get it, but Daniil rescues his team. Now Sylvia for the clear. Sylvia wants the follow-up, gets the follow-up. It's low, it's almost in, but Hardlos has it. And he'll clear it out and keep Death Cloud Tempest alive. 0-0 still in game 1. A little bit of an awkward moment there for Cadley on the ground. But we'll recover. And can anybody get there for Abyss? No. And Hardlos will collect out of the own corner. And Cadley will challenge. It goes down. It's almost in, but it's deflected. Demo comes out, but nobody can find it. Cavern will make the save with a shot from Sylvia. And a lot of pressure coming out from this Abyss squad. This is exactly what we need to see here in this Game 5. As we're now looking to go to a Game 7 if you're an Abyss fan. And Daniil trying to make it happen, but it'll be cleared out on the ground by Trout. Now Trout into the corner, deflected by Cadley, who will follow it up and gets it right around Hardlos. Only one to beat now. No one else is back yet. Goes for the bump, but Trout avoids. And the ball floating dangerously above the net here. Daniil will take a shot. Daniil top corner, but it's deflected by Cavern, excuse me. And Sylvia shot. Sylvia, perfect. And I believe that is the first goal for Sylvia, if I'm not mistaken, in this series. And what a goal it is. Gets it around 2 defenders. Absolutely perfect placement there for Abyss to take the lead as we go into the second half of Game 5. They want another Game 7. And they are putting up one hell of a fight for it. Team bump there, though, comes out. Now Trout, 1v1. Daniil makes the save. Catalan can get there. And Hardlos' shot deflected, but the pressure isn't off. They still save it. And what a save from Sylvia to stop the offense from Death Cloud Tempest, but still no pressure relieved. Now Sylvia forced to make the save again. Cavern up, off the backboard. Wants the second touch off the reset, but Sylvia will deflect. And a breath of fresh air here for Abyss here. as they go into the 3rd minute. Trout now wants the double, but it's deflected off the backboard by Catalan. Catalan now challenging Hardlos. Hardlos dunks. Nobody up, though, for Deathcloud Tempest, and Daniil will take it out. Looking for a teammate. Sylvia has it. Can't get back to it, though. It's an easy collect for Cavern. Cavern, though, challenged by Catalan. Catalan shot just high off the crossbar and challenged immediately. The pressure still on for Abyss, but nothing broken through yet. Daniil wants it off the backboard. Daniil can't quite get there, and Cavern will deflect it. Still, though, the pressure on for Abyss. Daniil wants it high. Redirect. Double tap, and Catalan is there, but nobody can connect with the net. Sylvia, though, wants it and gets it! And 2-0 from Abyss is the dream scoreline as the team play finally works out. Daniil up to Sylvia. Sylvia gets Trout credited with an own goal here. But all that matters is that the ball went in, and Sylvia has come alive. Finally in Game 5, we're seeing him on offense. And that was 2 goals that were much needed by this Abyss squad, and they have taken a 2-0 lead here with 1:35 to go in Game 5.
Yeah, and Tempest need to find something quickly if they just want to close out this series and close out their play-in run. We'll see if Trout can maybe start something up, gets a decent 50 against Sylvia. The play is put through by Cadley, nearly passed straight back. And Cavern's a little awkward in that situation, can't find the shot. Trout does, but it's not on target. Cavern now, and they just can't seem to find the target currently. And that is going to be such a way if Abyss happen to win this game. Tempest are going to feel as though they should have scored at least 1 in that situation. We see now Sylvia trying to get the touch, does get it. Cadley's there to follow it up, tries to maybe find a pass midfield, nearly does. There's a team bomb coming out, and Trout has to play that low. Otherwise that could have gone dangerously bad for Tempest, and Trout will just hit that one to the sidewall. Cavern tries to find the touch, doesn't get it. Trout hits it off the sidewall. Can Tempest do anything, or is it too late, and will we be going to Neo Tokyo?
This wants it so bad, but Tempest says no. Trout wants the redirect. It's high on the backboard. Hardlos is there, and so is Trout, but neither of them can get enough power on it to make anything happen. Trout, though, again with the follow-up, forcing Sylvia to work. Demos Sylvia, ball down midfield, but nobody there for Tempest. And Abyss want Neo Tokyo. They want a 3-2 series. They want a chance for match point. And they're going to get it here as a 3rd goal will go in for Sylvia. Ignore my voice crack. That didn't happen. You didn't hear it. But Sylvia, what a goal there with 1 second left on the clock. And that's going to do it here for Abyss. They are going to Neo Tokyo. They're going to Game 6. They have punched their ticket. And Tempest, will we see a timeout after this match? We'll have to see, but we've got a second left, so we're going to find out rather quickly. Hardlos wants to break through that wall. They want it, but they're not going to get it with Abyss clear. And Cavern's not even playing the game anymore. And that'll drop down. Abyss is going to take Game 5. We're going to get a timeout here, like I expected from Tempest. They're going to take their timeout right now. And so we'll have about a 3-minute gap in between these games as they take that 2-minute timeout. And after this, we'll see. Let's take a look at the statistics, though, for that Game 5. Abyss, a well-earned win, and there we go. Look at that Sylvia scoreboard. That is exactly what I said in Game 2, is that we need to see Sylvia come alive. We cannot have a player on Abyss getting 60 points in a match. And all of a sudden, we have nearly got 10 times that. Sylvia got 60 points, I believe, in Game 2 or 3, and now has nearly 600. And that was the key in that match. Abyss did not win that off of one own goal. Abyss won that because Sylvia came alive, and they were put together on offense, and they absolutely earned their ticket to Neo Tokyo. Can they keep up that momentum after a Deathcloud Tempest timeout? Deathcloud Tempest has now been put in this situation twice in a row. They were able to close out the first time. This Abyss squad, though, is looking very, very strong. What do you think, Tazik? Are they going to be able to close out a second time, or are we going to see a reverse sweep here in the plans?
I would have to say I believe Tempest can find a way to pull it through. They only need to win one more. And unlike the last series, going into Neo Tokyo, it was already 3-1 before Beckwith. Then it went to 3-2, obviously, went to 3-3. And they just need to kind of reset themselves, have it be like it was in the last series, just kind of understand what they need to do. Otherwise, they could actually end up getting reverse sweep. Tempest, however, I do believe will find a way back. but they need to do it quickly within this game 6. Otherwise, Abyss could just continue their form, especially after that last game. And with Sylvia waking up incredibly too, might I add. There was a fake that came out for the first goal by Cadley, and Sylvia could find the top corner, then gets it off of the own goal, off the post, and then that third one finding its way in the last second. If Abyss and Sylvia stay like they have there, it could be very bad for Tempest. They need to find a way into this game 6 extremely quickly because they got shut out that game too. So they need to
I agree. I think
quick.
Sorry for interrupting. I agree with you, though. I think you're absolutely correct. I think Abyss is looking very, very strong, and I think the start of this Game 6 is going to be absolutely crucial for these players in order to see where Tempest stands. I think this start of the Game 6 is really going to tell me, am I going to predict Abyss to win Game 7, or am I going to predict Tempest if we go that far? But either way, we're going to see very, very shortly. This timeout almost up. We've got 5 seconds left, and then we'll be starting Game 6. So we have another best of 7 that has gone potentially all the way. We're not going to wait any longer. These players are ready. We've got a Deathcloud Tempest team coming off of a timeout. What will they have changed? What will they have switched up? The next 5 minutes will tell.
Already see pressure coming on from Abyss. Tries to find the shot. Hardlos is able to make the save on low boost, and Cavern just has to push that one away. Sylvia tries to find the net. Can't find it. Just a little bit off of target. Trout with a great 50, however, just to get that pressure away. Just try to soak it off and try to maybe start a counterattack going. Hardlos tries to find something, doesn't get over Cadley, gets a second touch, it hits off the ceiling, can't try to read it, he does, he puts it to the corner where his teammate is. Hardlos is able to get it over one, Cavern gets beat out by Sylvia. Cadley will just maybe try to find a shot off, gets the pass down, and Daniil will happily take that one as no one on the Tempest defense could figure out what was going on.
That is exactly what Abyss needed. 40 seconds in, we got 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go in Game 6. Abyss already have the lead, and it's not because of an own goal. And they're going to get 2, maybe, just saved by Hardlos to keep Tempest alive here. But this Abyss squad is looking stronger than ever here. They are not getting these goals based off of flukes or own goals. They are earning them, and that is what we need to see from this roster. They are not even allowing Tempest to get that offensive pressure. But here we go. Here's Trout. But it's deflected over his head by Daniil. Demo, though, coming on the goal line. 2 demos, only 1. 3 demos. Nobody from Abyss is alive. But Sylvia gets there. Out of the blue, out of the Abyss. Out of a respawn. Nobody on the field for Abyss, but somehow Sylvia got back in time, and they stay alive after a triple demo from Deathcloud Tempest. Is there anything that can stop this Abyss momentum? Because apparently not even a timeout can. Cadley is going to put it over everybody's heads, and a minute 28 into Game 6, we've got 2 goals from Abyss, both of them well-earned.
Wow, and you have to feel for that Tempest squad there, that Deathcloud Tempest. They probably should have scored. There was no one left on the field. That's a great fake, though, coming out from Cavern. Tries to get the early flick, but Sylvia was able to meet it. Hardlos just tries to get the 50. It goes off the sidewall. Daniil's there for it. Cavern has to make the quick save. Otherwise, that could have been extremely dangerous, going 3-0 down in Game 6. Cavern's already up to deal with Cadley. Neither of them hit the ball, however. Trout gets bumped. That nearly finds its way in, but Sylvia has actually been awakened within these last 2 games, finding more ways to get in the way of Tempest than usual.
And now we are seeing this number 4 seed Abyss squad really come alive here. It took them a few games to kick up momentum, but now that they have it, they are not willing to lose it. They are holding on to it with white knuckles here as they keep the pressure on Deathcloud Tempest. Deathcloud Tempest just grasping at anything that will get them through, but they can't find anything. All of a sudden, Sylvia has really stepped in and is no longer just demoing, but really making those offensive plays happen. And again, that's going to be critical for this Abyss squad to keep up as we look towards a potential Game 7 here. As we head into the second half of Game 6, Sylvia going to deflect it off to the back right. And again, nothing coming out so far for Abyss. They haven't scored now, excuse me, for Deathcloud Tempest. They haven't scored now in almost 8 minutes. In fact, it's been more than 8 minutes now since Deathcloud Tempest has scored. Like I said, you cannot go that long without scoring. It does horrible things to your mentality. You need to break through that wall. Even if they go to game 7, they need to get a goal in this game. They cannot go 2 games in a row getting swept with no goals against Abyss, because that just destroys your mentality. You begin to question if you even belong here. And so Deathcloud Tempest, even if you don't win, you need to get a goal. You absolutely must get a goal in the next minute 36 seconds here in game 6, as Abyss are looking more and more likely to want to take this to game 7 here. Daniil has the shot. It's just a little wide. It's going to be an own goal. No, it's not in yet. It's saved, and it's in! And they're messing with my heartstrings here, as it was almost an own goal. So Daniil air dribbled to the left. Hardlow's almost own goal. Couldn't get back in time. Cadley were at Redding wrong, and actually deflected out by Hardloss. But then Sylvia was right there. Finally, another player from Abyss came in. 3-0. Once again is the scoreline with a minute 23 to go here in game 6. Abyss, this is the number 4 seed. This is that roster that has the statistical ability to beat Deathcloud Tempest. A demo coming out from Sylvia.
Oh.
What a play. Oh my goodness. We might have a game 7 here, folks. Sylvia collects it on the ground, flicks it over one, gets the demo on the second, and it's the easiest goal in the world to score for Daniil. Sylvia has come alive in the past 2 games. Must have been listening to the cast, because oh my goodness, this scene, this story has absolutely flipped. It must be scripted. Here we go. Here's a free double tap. They're gonna make it. Sylvia goal, and Sylvia is popping off right now. Absolutely incredible gameplay right now. Cannot be stopped for this Abyss squad.
That is outrageous, because Tempest looked to be in such control over the last, just before those 2 losses. They looked to be in such good control, and now, since that own goal, they have just came and out of nowhere been completely without control. That's a double commit coming through. Cavern gets in the way of the shot. Trout has to be there. Sylvia can get that one away, maybe find Daniil. Doesn't get it to him. Hardlos is able to stop it, but it's not a great touch either way coming through. Hardlos just has to clear that one away. We'll see if they can maybe start a counter-attack just to at least get a goal. Trout isn't in position for the pass, can't get that shot on. Hardlos just trying to do stuff on his own. Maybe try to find a bump, can't find it, and Trout will just have to deal with it. Not a effective 50.
Abyss are going to close this one out 5-0. And Deathcloud Tempest cannot get that critical goal. They have not been able to find it. Like you said, since the own goal, they have not scored. It has been more than 10 minutes of gameplay. Sylvia has locked in. She is absolutely in the zone. And Abyss are going to take game 6. We are going to Champions Field for the 2nd time today. Both of these teams want so badly to be in the playoffs on Sunday. And Abyss absolutely looking dominant. Once again, Sylvia going to be the MVP of that match. 2 goals, 2 assists, 3 saves, and 6 shots. She is doing it all for this Abyss roster, and she is grabbing them up, and she is pulling them up and dragging them to victory right now, because they are looking so dominant against this Deathcloud Tempest squad. And we really need that energy to come back. If you're looking at these statistics, Trout, once the MVP of multiple games last series, has now fallen to last place on their team, only 172 points. He's fallen asleep here, and I really think going into game 7 very quickly, by the way, because neither of these teams have a timeout, if Trout can wake up, if that team can come alive again, if they can find that chemistry, that's going to be crucial to winning game 7. But again, we are going to be going to Champions Field here. Game 7 starting in just a few moments. No more lives left for either of these teams. And we are all ready to go here. They want to put their name in lights. They want to advance to the playoffs. They have to earn it. They have to earn it with everything they've got. And the next 5 minutes is how you do that. We're not waiting any longer. We're going to get started with Game 7 here as soon as we can. I believe the match is just lagging a little bit. There we go. We are no longer waiting. There are no more lives left. You have no more ability to make mistakes. Deathcloud Tempest, you need to clutch up. They are about to get reverse swept if Abyss keeps this momentum, but it's so hard to close out that last game, as we saw in the very last series. Can Abyss keep the momentum? Can they win it? They want a goal early, but Cavern will deflect. And so the first several seconds are saved. Cavern, though, wants the shot, but Cataly will deflect it. Hardlow's keeping the pressure on for Tempest. They want the first goal, but no one's found it yet, and Abyss will clear.
Immediately, this Tempest side look to be trying to put their foot on the gas even harder than they were before. Trying to just get as much speed and pressure as possible. But with the way Abyss have been looking since that game 4, I'm not sure if that's going to help them. They seem to be getting in the way of each other sometimes. Cavern has to take this one high alone. Can he maybe find the pass? He nearly does. Hardlow just misses the ball, however. And Daniil can just take this in control, start the pressure on again. Abyss nearly coming through with another goal. Cadley able to just keep this pressure on. It gets cleared away by Hardlow's. And Sylvia will just hit this one away. Maybe try to get a second touch. Leaves it for Daniil. Maybe got called off there. Cavern has to take this one long. Maybe try to find something. Doesn't get a good 50. Hardlos is able to find the shot, but Sylvia's at the back line for a while and able to make that save with ease. Cavern has to just pass that one back. Hardlos takes control, finds the touch, gets up quickly to it, beats out Daniil, nearly finds a second, but Cadley's there. Cavern putting the shot on, but Sylvia's able to make the save. And this game 7 is already going to be an entertaining one.
No goals for either team. Cadley wants to change it, though, for Abyss. They want that first goal so badly. Daniil up high, but he only finds Trout, who will deflect to the corner, though. Sylvia keeping the pressure on. Looks for a teammate. Only going to find Hardlow's, but not enough boost to save it, so Trout will have to rescue him in the midfield. They want a shot. Cavern tries to get it, but he can't get it past Daniil. And now Cadley is going to try and collect. No, he waits for Sylvia, who will demo Cavern, but it won't quite get a touch on the ball. Trout pops it over middle. Can they get there? No, Hardlos can't find it in time, but the pressure's still on. Hardlos to the ceiling, but it's deflected off his car backwards. Daniil now will clear it out. Trout, though, has boost. Can he get back to the ball? No, he's going to leave it for Cavern. And Sylvia will collect, but it's floating dangerously in midfield. Cadley will get it out. Cadley to Daniil. Shot on net. Hardlos has to save, and he does. And nothing yet for either team as we head into the second half of Game 7. A very low-scoring match for this series' proportions. But, oh, that's an open net. Hardlos is going to get there. Can anybody save it? We can't even see. No! Hardlos finally breaks the wall. Over 14 minutes of gameplay have gone by since Deathcloud Tempest have seen a purple goal go in, and they finally break through. After 2 full games of not scoring, they have done it where it matters most. They're going to get a second! Cavern! 2 minutes and 14 to go. All of a sudden, Abyss, every bit of your momentum is gone. All of the clutch plays, all of the sweeps, all of it is gone. Cavern has finally woken up. Trout has woken up. Hardlos has woken up. And in just 15 seconds, Deathcloud Tempest have seen their first lead arrive and then be doubled where it matters most on Champions Field. 2 minutes to go. Can Abyss change the story?
Not sure if they'll be able to. That 2 quick consecutive goals could destroy the mental here in Game 7. It looks like Hardlos might get a third. He does! That is a placement perfect shot, finding its way off of the post. Able to, after the miss from Sylvia, Hardlos having the freest shot ever, possibly. I'm going to say this now. I've said it to multiple people I was going to before. Master is just Academy, but with mechs, apparently. Cavern might be able to get a fourth coming through for Tempest. Doesn't find it. Daniil's able to make the save. Cadley has to beat to it quickly, otherwise Trout was there. We'll see whether or not the Tempest will hold this, or if Abyss will find a way back. They might be able to here. Can Cadley get the shot? No! Trout is able to clear it off the backboard. And Tempest, they have arisen to the occasion in this Game 7.
Tempest finally found their footing again. Abyss, this is critical. The seconds are ticking away. You need to score now so you can get that momentum back because you're going to need to score 3 to win. That's an open net. Can he find it? No! Hardlos gets there and nothing for Abyss. With a minute 10 to go, that was the best chance we've seen all game from them. And somehow, some way, Hardlos got a finger on that ball and touched it and just barely got it out. Now Sylvia keeping the pressure on for Abyss in the corner, deflected to Cataly, but he's too far forward and he can't get there. Now Daniil pops it up in the middle. Cataly's gonna be backwards. Leaves it for Sylvia. What a shot! But it's just wide. And the post will be Deathcloud Tempest's savior right now, as they can't find anything. 45 seconds. They need to score every 15 seconds. And all of a sudden, the reverse sweep that seems so likely, that seems so possible, like they were standing on the edge of it, is looking more and more like it's not gonna happen. 3-0 for Deathcloud Tempest. They want to make it 4, but Cataly says no. 30 seconds to go, though, and all of a sudden their hopes and dreams of the playoff are on the precipice of being extinguished. They need this, but they can't find the goal. Even with demos, they're trying to find a teammate, but nobody's there. And Deathcloud Tempest have come back from the dead. They have made our prediction dreams come true with 10 seconds to go. Abyss misses the goal. 8 seconds to go. That is gonna do it. Deathcloud Tempest will take Game 7. They want a 4th. They can't find it, but the ball will drop. And Deathcloud Tempest came back from the dead where it mattered most, just like we saw last series. They clutched up in Game 7. They did not allow the reverse sweep to happen. Let's take a quick look at the statistics. What a game for both of these squads. And Abyss, you have to be heartbroken for them. They played so incredible in those last 2 games here in Game 4, 5, and 6 to nearly get that reverse sweep. But they just couldn't put it together in Game 7. And unfortunately, those mistakes in Game 1 and 2 really added up there. But what a game for these 2 teams. Let's take a look at the statistics for the series. We've got a total of 15 goals for Abyss and 1 less actually for Deathcloud Tempest. So they were shooting a little bit less. We got a lot more shots coming out from Abyss and a lot more defense being played by Deathcloud Tempest, especially in those last games. Again, pretty even on the demos, which is not what you might have expected from these 2 teams who had such high statistics for those. But again, where it mattered most in Game 7, Tempest was able to find those 3 goals, 2 of them so early on. And just what a series. That is 2 incredible series. Our series MVP is going to be Trout, nearly 3,000 points, 15 shots, 5 goals, and 17 saves. So across 7 games, 17 saves. He was averaging over 2 saves in a game. But Tezik, what do you think of that series? What are your final takeaways? That was one heck of a series, and both of us predicted Deathcloud Tempest to win, but certainly not by that little margin. That was an incredible series. What do you got to say about it?
Yeah, that was such an incredible series. Abyss, it seems as though they just fallen at the last hurdle. They nearly had that reverse sweep going, but in the end, we had seen Tempest kind of go back to their original form, go back to their original game plans, and just been able to find a way to actually dismantle Abyss in that last game. And with all that being said, we will have Deathcloud Tempest in the playoffs on Sunday.
Yeah, let's take a look at that bracket again one more time. We're going to see Deathcloud Tempest punching their ticket to Sunday. They are going to the playoffs. We've got some more Rocket League to play for you. We're not going to delay very long. Let's take one more look at the bracket before we go. So we've got Deathcloud Tempest advancing. I believe we have Vulcan versus Nox up next in your upper bracket play-ins. So those teams are also fighting for a slot, in the playoffs. But Deathcloud Tempest, we saw them play twice today. Both times they scared us. They took it to a best of 7. But both times they also clutched up in that Game 7, so a very well-deserved win here. They will be advancing through the lower bracket. I have been Rising Storm. That is Tezik sitting next to me in the casting booth. We're going to take a very quick break right here, and then we're going to have one more series for you today, and we'll be back tomorrow with some more playoffs for the Elite Series. So thank you very much for watching, and we will be back in a very few minutes.
Have a good one.
You struggle to rank up in Rocket League? Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTXAcademy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments and trophies won and thousands of dollars earned, I will tailor to your needs and make sure you get to that next level. I'm also doing discounted prices for the first 10 days, so you do not want to miss out. And you are also probably thinking,
CMOS, how do I book a session with you?
well, that's easy. Just open up that fancy browser of yours, type metafy.gg/@cmasorl_, pick a session to your liking, book a time, and bang, you're booked, and I'll see you in the call. Once again, that's metafy.gg/@cmasorl_.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. they move from the light. Am I even real? Even real? Everywhere I look, I'm starting to feel time is eating me alive, me alive. Drowning in my life. Who am I? Time is eating me My feet glued to the floor, I'm not moving anywhere. Locked inside of a crowd that couldn't care less. Everything was moving so fast. Everywhere I look, I'm starting to feel time is eating me alive, me alive. Drowning in my life. Who am I? Time is eating me. Time moves on and on. Can I stomach it? Can I stomach it? Where did I go wrong?
Beats the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Welcome back, everyone. We've got our final play-in series of the entire RSC16 season. After what was a very, very, very close series in between Abyss and Tempest, we've got a bit of upper bracket action in Vulcan versus Nox to close out the day. My name's Beeping Sheep. Joined alongside me is a probably familiar face for some of you in Mel. How you doing tonight, mate?
That's good if you could even see my face. I don't know what's going on my camera right now. But no, I'm happy. It's good. It's been a very fun day. You've had two game sevens, which has been very, very interesting. So hopefully this series is able to bring that exact same energy.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I know some of the players on these two teams. I know that on the side of Vulcan, you've got a Dreamy who somehow last season managed to make a complete miracle run along with Panthera in Master. But on the other side, you've got what is, if you play Uni Rocket League, a very familiar face in Madge Chen as well on that Birmingham team. But it is going to be quite the battle between these two to see who's going to end up playing what is said to be the favourite for the entire conference on Sunday in Illusion. But before we do get into that, I suppose player stats might be worth a look at as well as team stats. I mean, here's the playoff bracket first off for you. You've got Berserkers firing in the lowers, Inferno Montezuma in the uppers, Illusion waiting, and then Tempest also waiting for the loser of this one. Winner faces Illusion, loser faces Tempest. But, yeah, have a little walk through, Mel, just see what we've seen so far.
Yeah, this is very interesting, to be honest. This entire side of the bracket, and a lot of these game sevens, this has been one of those intense days, very intense days to see which of these teams get to go through to the main side of the playoff bracket. And it's going to be very hard for the teams going through the lower bracket. You know, they've had to fight for it, especially after a long season. But this match, Vulcan and Nox, this is going to be very interesting as well. Like you said, whoever is able to get that high upper bracket advantage, it's going to be very big for them in their confidence.
Yeah, it's going to be huge for them, even though they will likely, I mean, in my opinion anyway, I see Illusion will beat whoever ends up winning this, but you will still have set 2 lives going into Sunday either way if you do win this matchup. And now I feel like it is probably time to roll a couple of the team stats just to see how both team seasons have gone. You've got Forge being that highest seed in the Glacies conference, the ESQ in the Ignis, but there's not too much to tell between these two teams apart from the glaringly obvious goal difference stat. It seems like Forge have scored a lot more, saved a lot more as well by the looks of it. So maybe, you know what, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe there is in fact a lot to tell in between the two. It's two different teams coming in to just blend together and give us one final best of 7. But maybe just with player stats we can have a better look. And yeah, maybe with player stats we'll have a little better look. So our new, well, I'd say face, but our new fella here in Mel can have a little update on what's been going on.
Yeah, I think this should be definitely one of the more interesting matchups. Like, I like the fact we get all these player stats. I'm not really accustomed to this. This is really interesting. You get to see the games, the goals, the win percentage, which is also a very interesting one. In your opinion, right, Beeping Sheep, who is your highlight player to look out for going into this match?
I'm going to be looking at both of these captains probably. In Dreamy, in Madge. They are these difference makers for these teams. They are the high seeds. Both of them above 2100 CMV. Crazy peak as well. If you're looking at 2Ks as well, you have got Tiago and Josh. But they're not the players I'm going to be looking at here. Because Madge, pretty stand-up player, as I've already gone over. Dreamy, same deal. But we do seem like we're in a little bit of a rush to get to the series. So I suppose the final thing to do before we go in will be predictions. How do you think this one's going to go, Mel? Oh.
That's a very good question, sir. It's a very hard one to predict, to be honest. Because I've heard that these are two rather competitive teams. So maybe I kind of want. I don't want to be like Daz and say on the fence with this one. I've heard too many people say on the fence, but it's kind of hard. I'm gonna say this one probably ends in 5. We've had too much Game 7 luck today. For which side, however, I think probably Vulcan probably could take it in 5, which will be very interesting for one in their favor. So hopefully that'll be a result that they might be eager to come out with for them, for sure.
Yeah. In their case, like, I mean, I feel like whoever gets the first game especially is going to have that riding on momentum. But I'm going to go completely opposite to you. I think Nox have absolutely got this one in the bag. I'm going to say it's going to be in 6. I think Vulcan will come out swinging, but I think the experience that a lot of these players on Nox seem to have will be enough to bring them over the line.
That's a big thing as well. Is going to be the big experience between some of these sides. Does one side have more experience than another? Which is the side that's been more tried throughout the season? Regardless of what happens, especially with this type of a match right here, this is.
Oh. Wait, is that me? Oh.
It looks like in just a couple of minutes, we're going to have these players up and ready for this. I want to know what you guys in the chat are thinking for this match, because this should be one of the more interesting ones to come up with. do we get another game 7? Because I've been here all day. I've seen all types of game 7s. The question is, do you guys believe we're going to get a game 7? I know you guys in the chat are going to be way more, are much more have been invested in the season than I've been. So I may or may not need a little bit of help. Did I mess up giving a 4-1 to Vulcan? That's my big. Did I mess up giving a 4-1 to Vulcan? I hope not. I hope I know what I'm doing. But I do think that this is going to be one of those interesting matchups regardless. I think every matchup today has that hidden lore behind it that people have been looking for. And this might have to be one of those matchups. Every match is a test of character, regardless. Are you able to win? Are you able to overcome the odds? Are you able to prove yourself? Or are you the type of player that feels like they do not have to prove themselves? And that's going to be the big question as well for each one of these players. At what stage in these players' careers are they for them to be able to have the right discernment and decision making, for them to be completely mentally sound and content with their gameplay, with their teammates' gameplay? How are the comms going to be? Is it going to be mentally sound? Is it going to be technically sound? Are there going to be players that are going to be nervous? Okay, and how do you react to that? Especially with Beeping Sheep, what he said earlier. With Beeping Sheep, what he said earlier about the captains, him picking the 2 team captains as the highlight players, the players to look out for, the players that he thinks are going to be able to rise above everybody else. So as a team captain, how do you react to that? As a team captain, how do you bring yourself to another level? How are you able to raise your team's level and reach that extra gear when it gets down to that, when it gets down to that point, when it gets down to the line? How are you able to do that? Just like Beeping Sheep said. And Beeping Sheep, I'm sure you're going to be very, very content with your decision to highlight the 2 captains, especially seeing the experience that we've got in this lobby.
Yeah, I mean, although I will say, I said the same thing yesterday. I casted another series. Tried to highlight those 2 standout players, the best ones on paper, the most experienced ones on the team, but it just turns out that didn't quite happen. It ended up coming down to the 2nd and 3rd players. So maybe today will be the same, or maybe it will just be finally a case of superstars coming to show up. But from the way it looks, we have got everybody in the lobby ready to get going. So why not just hop into game number 1 and see who's going to come out on top to kick us off?
All right, we've got Vulcan on the black end of the field. We've got Nox on the other end. Beautiful cyan blue. Which side is able to take it and progress through in the upper bracket? Oh, this is a big pass infield already, starting off the game with some offensive pressure. Goes Vulcan. And for Beeping Sheep, you've seen a whole lot more of these 2 teams throughout the season. In your opinion, what is the desired expectation from each?
Well, I feel like Vulcan are gonna want this more than anyone, because Dreamy on their side, their captain, is just prime passion ball. That seems to be all he plays. It doesn't matter if he's doing well, if he's doing horribly during the season. For some reason in playoffs, he'll just seem to turn it on as he's looking to do it right now, but that's not going to happen. But on that other side, on the side of DSQ, I think if Madge can get himself off the ball and let Josh and Errol take care of certain pieces of business, not like that one though, because Thiago's just going to end up opening the scoring for Vulcan. But if it ends up going the other way, maybe DSQ have a chance, but that is not the way to start if you're Josh.
Yeah, the touch from Josh ended up being a whole disaster. He wanted to be able to run interference in the midfield, but that touch went into a completely different dimension, and it leveled it up wide open for Tidge, as he was able to get the opening goal of the match. And on one side for Nox, it's not exactly how you want to start, but for Vulcan, they've done so much in the opening minute to be able to try and get pressure and to be urgent in the midfield, but this extra touch back out for Maj, who gets saved by Tidge on the goal line, and already Nox are looking for their get back.
Yeah, Nox have finally realised that they're actually playing in the series. They did seem to have fallen asleep in that first minute, but they've got something to play for now. They've been on the attack for, what is the better part of about the last 45 seconds, but they might just end up leaving that open again. Madge forced to take a quick touch now. Leaves it to Aero, low boost in the air, just going to leave it back to Madge. That's going to fall into the center. Josh is first to it, will end up winning that 50-bit Dreamy. Just quick to clear any attack before it ends up being started, and there's not much boost now to work from on the side of Nox. They're just going to try and regroup. Don't let Vulcan get that second lead. Madge is just going to end up shadowing that. Takes a touch, goes above Jax. That ends up falling straight to air roll. Madge now looking for that dink, but that's just going to go end up straight to Dreamy. He's going to take a bit of control. That falls to Josh as well. I suppose no one can really keep the ball at the moment all too much. Maybe Jax can find the goal, though. That's not quite gonna fall his way. Dreamy misses the touch, ends up going straight to Errol. That might almost be open unless Jax can find a way through. That is an incredible angle, though.
Well, look at this. Errol just beat out one player. The moment he hit off the backboard, he had a wide open backboard to work with. And that angle, as crisp as you like. Absolutely beautiful. And just like that, this game is tied.
It seems to have come alive. All of a sudden, Errol almost finds his second goal there. And Nox are just building it on what they had before. That goal came out of almost nowhere. That one's almost going to do the same. Josh off the bar. Fourth man there to stop him ever so quickly. Errol down into Madge, into the middle. Back to Errol. Back to the side is a good idea, but the execution couldn't quite come through from Nox. Now it's Josh on the ball, looking for the reset, looking for the fake. Neither of those are going to be his way, but Madge into the middle, looking for air roll. That won't happen now, and Vulcan need to break out of this pretty soon, because it's looking like Nox have all the danger at the moment, and Vulcan are just being penned back into their half, so you start to wonder if there is any way out for them.
Yeah, but they got that attack going on their side, though. The moment that Nox pushed all three players into their corner, they all had under 30 boost. The moment that Vulcan realized that, they had two players on 100 and immediately started the transition. And the moment that they did that, it was going to be lethal regardless. And that's what you like. But instead, it's a big giveaway in the midfield. Maj, very quick up to this one. One touch, basically giving it away. Now Dreamy in the air. Reset pop, pass one. Josh deflecting it right back into Dreamy. Now a big bang downfield. Taj, really big interception to keep this one in the blue half just for now. Now it's Jax going up. Touch is pretty heavy. Dreamy's trying to get a hold of it, but contested in the midfield, and that's exactly what you like so far for Vulcan. The fact that they were able to transition and get the pressure. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Definitely looking to do so. They've cancelled out Nox's earlier wave of attack with a little bit of their own, but it seems to be that no one has found that significant breakthrough just yet. We're still tied at 1-1 with just under a minute to play. Now Tiago beat by Madge into the middle. Now Jax is just going to see it past that last defender, just poke it into the open, and Vulcan have the lead once again in the game.
Oh, this one, just an easy beat right back out in the midfield. Jax, as fast up as possible to beat out the defender. And just like that, Vulcan, they find a way to retake the lead after being under heavy duress for an elongated amount of time.
Yeah, but that might just pull back straight away. Madge with an equaliser. Before we even had time to think about that last goal, Madge just ends up poking another one in, and we're back tied up once again. Good placement, and it just falls straight in.
Yeah, that's just the one big thing off the kickoffs is everyone is so disoriented with the placement of the rotation. No one was able to directly cover that backboard. And even if there was no chance at getting that rebound. And that is exactly what you like if you're Nox, because you have to be able to be urgent enough in the midfield and on offense to be able to get those quick follows, especially when an opportunity like that presents itself. Here's Aero, back to Maj. Maj, no boost, low 50. Josh gets bumped on the way up, so he can't exactly do what his desired play was. Aero 50 with Jax. Now it's Maj. Can't. Late, Dreamy off the backboard. He can't get much. Arrow leaves it. Maj, one to beat. Josh couldn't get the touch. Tija, big save on the goal line. In game one, we'll see overtime.
No 0-second heroics this time. Game one is just going to be straight to overtime. Dreamy with the first shot off there. But it was some late danger from either team, it felt like. Those bumps are starting to come in pretty significantly. But no one's found anything on the end of those plays, even though the bumps have been in. Dreamy now in his own corner, going to get met by Josh on the scene, and that's going to fall straight to Tiago, and Josh is going to meet it and take it backwards. Falls to Arrow once again. He's looking to take it wide. He's a little bit awkward now, though. as he goes off the wall, looks to find a teammate, but no one seems to be up except Dreamy, who's trying to find his play. Look for that reset. Does find it, but Madge is going to be first to clear. Madge looking for that second ball, bumped out for it. Jack straight back into the middle. Doesn't give any sort of breathing room to Nox. Now Josh trying to take it out. Just settle the nerves a little bit in this first overtime. Going to take another touch as well. Just leave that into the corner. That's exactly where you want to be if you want to play it defensively. Madge just going to completely clear that out. Now Dreamy forced to make a heavy clear on that one. Tiago waiting to try and beat Errol. Ends up doing so. Dreamy almost finds the first goal, and we're a minute in, and danger starting to come through.
Oh, but this might be a big transition, so they have to watch out. Tish controlling it into the corner. He goes, taking the low 50. Around one, Arrow says no thank you. He tries to go fast, but Jax really up to meet it in the midfield. And again, it's been a lot of that. A big pre-jump off the backboard. Dreamy just trying to keep them in. Maj a super heavy touch, so can't get back fast enough. Josh running out of boost. The reset will be the only touch that he gets. An awkward bounce for Jack, so he can't exactly take control. Now it's Dreamy. Not a lot of boost to work with. Absolutely no recovery on the landing. So he's going to have to stick up for it one more time. Jax trying to go fast. Puts it wide of the net. Tidge just keeping it in. Dreamy putting it high. Jax is nowhere near the play, and they're going to have to start from square one.
Yeah, that's gone all the way back up into their half. They're going to look to build something else up, but Errol is just going to stay staunch on the air there. But it is starting to look good if you're Vulcan in overtime. We're now 2 minutes in. There's not been any goals yet, but both teams have definitely starting to take their chances. Dreamy almost finds it across. Tiago, that's the wrong net, pal. That's just going to find it all the way in. What team are you on?
What happened here? Dreamy pinched it. And Tish, he just maybe wanted to hit it to the sidewall. Got a terrible mishit. And that ball went in the back of his own net. That should not have been the way that first game ended.
It's a horrific way to start the series if you're Tiago in this situation, but you got to take it on the chin because, it's a best of 7 at the end of the day. There's still plenty of time left to bounce back from it. 1 goal and 5 saves, it looks good on paper, but you got to add 1 own goal to the tally, albeit a little bit accidental. But at the end of game 1, it is Nox that walk away with the spoils and walk away one step closer to that upper bracket on Sunday. But there's still a lot of work to be done for them. They're still definitely going to have to try and neutralise all the threat that Vulcan provided towards the latter part of that game, especially that of Dreamy. But I'm sure they'll be more than happy right now to have seen out the first game.
Yeah, big time. I think what Vulcan do really well, they do a really well job of being able to transition from defense into offense and find the quick plays to get from point A to point B and to establish their pressure as fast as possible and to get a stronghold on their opponent. I mean, they had a decent bit of pressure for that the beginning half of the first game and the latter half of the first game. And they were able to strike when they needed to big time as well. They're urgent up to the ball. They're very intense in the midfield, which is a really good sign. But you have to be able to close down space on the defense, which is something that they have not done very, very well throughout the game.
No, definitely not. And game 2 is a little bit glitched so far. We've got Dreamy and Dreamy alone. It seems like there's a bit of a colour glitch though at the moment, so just give us a quick second. There's a bit of restart going. All the teams having trouble with force default, but it's a little bit more time to figure it out if you are Nox. Just give yourself a bit more time to regroup. Well, I say regroup. You did win that first game in the end, but in terms of momentum, if another game like game 1 comes along for you, you're gonna have to watch out because that can easily go the other way. I don't see anything yet of a new lobby, but it's worth asking everybody. We may have just a couple of minutes of just tech problems for some of the players, but that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's classic Rocket League broadcasting. You're always gonna have some type of a tech issue every once in a while. But
Yeah.
No, I agree. There were some things from Nox that I definitely do think that they do have to talk about. They do have to highlight in this series. I mean, game 1's always kind of one of those games where it's like, okay, it's a very heartbreaking game for Vulcan to lose, to be honest. So I think for Vulcan, that game one was more mentally powerful than it was for Nox. But it's always good to start out on the advantage side. But as you go on these series, you have to make sure and you have to understand that you cannot allow yourself to develop some of the bad habits, especially in the midfield or maybe on defense that Nox were making. So maybe they'd have to talk about it if there is ever a point in time for a timeout. But if we could keep the level of play from game one going into the next couple of games, I'm sure this is going to be one of the more exciting series of the day.
Yeah, the level from all of the players so far, just coming out completely swinging. Especially considering none of these teams have played yet today. And to come out like that in game one with what was, in the first half anyway, end-to-end stuff from either team, especially with that stupid angle from air roll about halfway through to get one of those. I think it was for 1-1, but no, that came out of absolutely nowhere. But moments like that, that's something that you don't really see unless you are at the upper echelon of RSC in Elite, in Master, and that's something that you absolutely love to see, especially if you're a spectator. So if you're in the chat right now, I want you to try and predict the first goal, the exact time that comes in. And if it does, I'll send you a virtual cookie if you get it bang on. But if it doesn't, whatever. I'm not doing any more forfeits after week 6.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially for now, I think we've got the lobby up. We might be waiting on one, but I'm sure Vulcan and Nox, these two teams are going to be very happy. In your opinion, for Vulcan, they came in really good. Dreamy was a really big part of that game for Vulcan. What, in your opinion, do you think Dreamy is able to add to this Vulcan roster? And how do you think it'll be important, especially going on to the rest of these games, especially in game 2, as we're about to start?
I think he just seems to be like that hype man kind of guy. I don't know Dreamy. I've not played with him, I've not played against him, but from what I've seen in previous seasons like this, he's that one guy that can just come out of nowhere. Whatever team ends up making the run, it always seems to be the team with Dreamy on it. Like with that last season as well. I remember looking through those predictions for the last season of Master, and almost everybody had Panthea at the bottom. Then they swept one game, then they swept 2, then they swept 3, then they swept 4. And it just looked like they were just going along and along and along. Then they swept again, it felt like. And then they did get absolutely demolished by Cassius Fort Templar in that final game, granted. But at the end of the day, that is a very good precedent to set for future seasons. It does make teams pretty scared of you. So if you are Dreamy and you can absolutely run that back, it'd be a brilliant day for you. But if you can start it along in uppers by winning this one, you're probably going to be even happier.
Yeah, especially here. I mean, Dreamy's been able... I mean, if you're having success like this, you're building a legacy, and especially in the league, the caliber of this. But now you have a lot of different things on the line going into a playoff. This entire season, for everything, you have to be able to stay steadfast, to stay consistent, and it is hard at times for players to be able to do that at the high level, but these guys in these lobbies have been able to stay consistent, to stay calm, and hopefully for them, they're able to raise their level of play, especially when it dips. And because we're in the playoffs, it does end up, or the play-ins technically, it does dip pretty often because of pressure, but who's able to build that character? Who's able to shine above the rest and say, this doesn't affect me the way that it affects you, and is able to hold and keep their own going into matches. And that separates the good players from the great players. So the question is, who's going to be who going into these matches?
Yeah, well, that'll end up leaving to find out, because this is your first little taster of the play-ins for either team this season. Just waiting for everybody else. I believe we've got everyone in. So, yeah, as we get game number 2 away after a, pretty lengthy technical break, then how's it gonna turn out? How's it gonna fare for either team? Will Nox end up taking the second game in a row, or will Vulcan tie things up and continue momentum of the attack from last game?
All right, let's get into it. Vulcan and Nox part 2. Let's see if we can get this one. Now, a couple of issues. This might be something. And Dreamy has started out with a goal.
Oh, that's quick. Came out of absolutely nowhere. 13 seconds in, and Dreamy just pokes it right into the open net, right into top bins as well. He had absolutely no reason to hit that top bins. What are you, Suarez? But anyway, 1-0. We carry on. Thiago gets beat by Madge on the kickoff, but look who's there to follow it straight away. It is Dreamy into that corner, getting chased out by Josh, who's going to look for that bit of defense. Now, here we are with that Nox side, trying to eye up all the players as much as they're trying to eye up the ball as well. Air roll out of his own corner, that falls straight to Dreamy. He just ends up passing it to the attacker, but nothing really is going to come from that. Now Thiago on the ball, going to try and beat Madge out with this. And something quick to note, as a shot from Thiago almost finds the net, is Thiago and Jax. They have, I believe this is their second season in a row teaming with each other. Absolutely no breaks in that as well. They ended up playing on Royal 5 last season with Smashy in one of those two favourite teams from the conference. Ended up bombing out a little earlier than they would have liked. So I think combining that with the momentum of Dreamy, I feel like we can get a good mixture going. But to do so, you got to get match number 1 done first, as the net is being absolutely peppered from them. Can't find the net though, can Nox, and it stays 1-0 to Vulcan, minute and a half in.
Yeah, and Jax did a good job of being able to keep the player off the ball on the wall to allow his teammate to come in. And just like that, they've earned this pressure. They've been a little bit conservative, but now they have the ability, the physical aggression to make up for it. But this time, Thiago gets beaten in the midfield. It's Air Roller getting past one. Here's Dreamy from his own sidewall. Off the backboard, Jax is up early. The 50 with Air Roller, maybe the second for Jax. He's going to take his time to come in. Now it's Josh. Beats that one. Might have to go off the backboard here. Not a lot of boost to work with. Dreamy, extra touch, trying to play right back down. And they're allowing themselves, Vulcan, they're giving themselves these offensive opportunities from the midfield. They're able to take the ball and do a lot of things. That's the reset pop, trying to make something happen. Jax couldn't. Off the backboard, this goes open for Dreamy, and Dreamy goes fast and gives his team a 2-goal lead.
Oh, it really is a dreamy start if you're Vulcan. 2 goals to the good, 2 minutes in. You're carrying on what you did last game, but to the opposite result so far. It's a good ball in, and it's an even better shot from Grand Marshal Dreamy himself. And as we get things kicked off, Nox do seem to have the same old game plan, but this time it's not going their way. I noticed a minute ago that nobody had any boost on the entire team, so even though none of Vulcan were on the ball, there was just no possibility to capitalise on it. Now Air Roll with 100 will try and change that, ends up beating one man, and that goes straight to Josh, who ends up missing that. And here's Dreamy on the ball, looking for his hat-trick. Reset number 1. Tries to find the musty on the end of that, almost breaks the backboard with that one. Jax going up, going into the middle, trying to find that man, but Josh first to meet, and Madge ends up missing the boost. That could come in costly later, but it won't seem to, as Air Roll with the clear. But it is Nox that are up against it now. I know it felt like, the way we were talking about them last game, it felt like they were the ones who had actually lost last game. So it really isn't that deep if they do end up dropping a game here, because that will just be tied up and will be best of 5. But get going while you can. There's Madge, bumping out man after man. Can't hit the target though. That's a shot to forget if you're Madge. And Nox, with just under half the game to go, have it all cut out for him.
Yeah, and that's a really good touch, a really good demo as well, but there wasn't an immediate follow-up. I like how you're talking as well about this and the implications of losing the first game. I'm satisfied and I'm content with the ability that Vulcan have had in this game, especially to not directly let that first game loss affect them. And I know it's an odd thing to say, it's because it's game 1, but in the fashion that they lost game 1 was a little heartbreaking. Josh with not a lot of boost to work with. A quick shot again. This one hits the up left post and then ricochets out of the half. And this is where Vulcan have been able to be comfortable on defense, on the backboard, in the backfield, in their own backfield. Whenever they've had pressure go against them, they have done a good job of being able to stay vigilant and to have good conviction. But the big thing is there have not been a lot of threatening shots that have come in from Nox. Only 4 on the game so far, and we don't even have less than 40 seconds to go.
No, I mean, they've ended up just trying to rely on something ridiculous from one of their players again. But you can't always go on a superstar play like Errol did with his angle last game. But they've really not found their way into this game number 2. Maybe Josh with a late shot, looking to find what could end up just being a consolation. They've got their final wave of attack, though. That's just going to completely get met by Jax and Dreamy, both, who are going to completely turn this around. Jax towards the net, ends up missing that. And the time is ticking down. Vulcan seem to have tied this up. And Nox with an amount of shots more than Vulcan, would you believe it, find themselves losing this game. And we are all tied up into a best of 5.
Well, look at that. Vulcan are going to be saying, well, whoop-de-doo. Finally, after that entire technical break, they've gone down in game 1 in ridiculous fashion, had a 5+ minute technical break between game 1 and game 2, and they look better. And it's hard for teams to be able to not get taken aback from technical breaks that are elongated. Well, they just did. And they were able to raise their level going into that game. Nox, they're going to have to find another gear, especially if they want to deal with this. They weren't able to generate much pressure, much offense in general. Like you said earlier, sometimes, you said not all the time can someone do a super special play. Sometimes it's going to take something special to keep your team in matches like this. And for Nox, they might have to find something special. That's something special. They might have to raise their level, especially in this story right here, where they are going to have to attempt and control their own destiny.
Yeah, they've got a lot of control to turn around right now, because it seemed like even though they have more shots, for most of that game, it was just all Vulcan just barreling into their half time after time. So, yeah, there is looking for that one individual superstar, but there's also the idea that, well, working as a superstar type of unit that they want to be after. They want to be working. As I've seen them before, they've worked like a machine when they want to, but we've not really seen any of that yet this series. Everyone's sort of having a set role. Maybe it's just because Dreamy just seems to have something to say about it. Here he is, just off the ball, just ends up getting beat there. Madge is going to be up now. There's no man in there waiting for him, so he's just going to try and play that off the backboard. Doesn't quite end up winning that 50. Josh down, falls to a teammate, but Tiago's going to get there first. That's going to just bounce all the way back. Tiago's going to stay on that until he gets completely incinerated by the hands of Josh. Now Madge on the ball on that left wall, just trying to beat out Dreamy. That ain't gonna happen though. And Tiago up and forwards. That bounce could be very, very awkward, but Josh manages to read it pretty well. And in these opening 40 seconds, we've definitely seen a better Nox than we did in game number 2. But maybe those passing plays are something they want to look for, because the man up, the second man up, has not really seemed to have been in the path of the ball.
Yeah, that's another big thing as well. I mean, for both sides, it's kind of hard to penetrate the other team's defense or even in the midfield. But right here, they might have found an opening. Dreamy with one to beat, but Josh doing a really good job bailing his teammate out of what would have been a tragic attempt at net. And Nox right now looking for anything, looking for any type of counter. Maj beats one. Air roller gets 50 with Dreamy. Now it's Jax over to the wall. Mash can't get a touch, leaves it for Joshy. Josh around one, but Tiago doing a good job of closing down the space again, something that they lacked, Vulcan, in game 1. But now let's see if they can turn it around again.
Don't look into doing so. Tiago with that first shot. Blocked out by Arrow. It didn't really offer all too much threat on the net now. But this is going to go down to the other way, with Madge looking for Josh in that middle, looking to find yet another tight angle. But Arrow stuck in that 2-on-1. He's left very, very awkward. Josh finds a demo, finds a save, luckily enough for him. But Dreamy wants to keep that play going, wants to take it into the midfield. Tiago first to the ball. Maybe Jax is going to be there to just wait, to just buy time, let his teammates grab boost and let them continue this relentless pressure. But that ain't going to happen for him now. Tiago just ends up catching himself out on the turn. That's going to fall straight to Jax. Tiago looking for the demo. And wow, that is some play. The team plays are coming in and it's Vulcan to first do it.
Yeah, and it starts off that big double commit in the midfield. Dreamy had taken a good 50. And on the other side, you see Tiago running interference on the other team's back line. And that is when you know the jig is up. 1-0 for Vulcan.
It's a bit of a peekaboo moment for the defense there. Look at me, I've just completely caught you out. He's looking to do it again as well. Now, and the idea worked once, so why not try it again? Or why not just try Dreamy off the ceiling? That's going to get blocked by Maj. Maj with no boost now. He's a fundamental guy, is Maj. He doesn't really rely too much on mechs. He loves just his basics, and basics seem to do the job for him most of the time, but so far, that doesn't seem to be the case. But that's just going to float all the way over the head of that last man, but the bounce is awkward enough such that Nox won't score from the following attack. Tiago clears it completely out. Him and Jack's both stuck on the wall now. That leaves Dreamy in that last man position. End up just booming it straight to the other team. That's something this game that we've seen a lot more of. But Jax has found 2-0.
Well, look at this one. A big pass into the midfield. Jax had read it from a mile away. And another big double commit that Nox had. And Jax, all the credit to him. All he had to do was beat one. No, he had to beat two. And that shot on target was as good as you want it to be. Another 1-2 in the midfield. But now for Nox, they don't find themselves in this position that often. Now, how do they come back down from 0-2 with about a minute and a half remaining? That's the big question. It might be 0-3 if they can't get something here. Josh misses the defensive touch. Air roller tries to get it out. Dreamy touch around one, couldn't get the second. And let's see if Vulcan can hold on to this lead.
It feels like all Vulcan right now. 2-0 into a 2-0. Nox, it's been, as far as I know, almost 10 minutes since you had your last goal. That's something that you want to not keep a habit of. You do not want to be shut out for the rest of this series. So you may as well start by finding at the very least a consolation so far now. Aero's going to be looking to be the man to find it, but that won't be the case. Jax is just going to clear it, ends up wave dashing off of the wall. Maj over to Josh, over in that corner. Just trying to find a teammate there, looking for one, looking for the shot though. That's just going to go off the bar. That's not quite going to find the net, but the idea is finally through from Nox in this past minute. That is their first proper threat at the goal the entirety of Game 3. It feels like there's not really been any other significant moment, but that's just going to be left open. And Tiago will be the man to poke it in and more than likely seal this game for Vulcan to put him in the lead of the series.
Yeah, that touch went absolutely nowhere off the backboard. And Tiago, all he had to do was just like front flip to trap the ball at the ground and then get the extra touch with 0 boost. And looking at the goal differential the past 2 games, what is it, like 5 in a row for Vulcan? That is not a stat that you want to hear, especially if you're a fan of Nox or any of the players on that team. They need to find a goal. They need to find a meaningful goal. They need to find something that's going to elevate them, their level, something that will inspire them and their level of play going into the next couple of games. There's going to be a quick shot by Josh, which is going to end up going in the back of the net. But in these next couple of games, they have to be able to start generating real opportunities on net if they want an opportunity to take the series.
But at the very least for Nox, that goal drought has come to an abrupt end now. It did take almost 10 minutes. The entire Vulcan team has just completely stopped playing. That will be, well, what is just a consolation now for Nox, who I would expect to take a timeout after. It just felt like they had nothing in the tank for either last game or this game. But we're yet to see anything in chat from it. Maybe they do just believe that they can see this across without having to do so. Or if they really, really feel like it, they could bring the sub in. But, I don't trust the sub enough to make all too much of an impact. I know the sub on the side of Nox, and he's better off casting. So keep that first team going, Nox.
Yeah, I think for Vulcan, I think they've done a really good job of being able to... They've applied their pressure really well throughout the entirety of the last 2 or so games. They've also done a really, really good job of jumping on every opportunity. The moment opportunities open up, boom, Vulcan player, up as fast as possible in the midfield. Boom, big demo. They're very aware. They're spatially aware. They're aware in all types of ways. And that's why they're able to progress and advance so much with these opportunities, there are so many lookouts. The comms must be malevolent if they're this good, and if they're acting on this as well it is. So we'll have to see. Nox have to change something, and they have to change something fast. What that is, we'll have to see if they figure it out, because the timeout might come if they lose this game.
Oh yeah, we're absolutely more than expected. Although we've had plenty of series where teams have just either forgot or not ended up taking their timeout, but hopefully for Nox that won't end up being the case. They will love to not find themselves 3-1 down in the series. Josh is going to poke it in early on, 9 seconds in. Nox have the lead. From a bit of a defensive mishap, Dreamy thinks he's him, cannot hit the Psycho, and that just ends up falling straight to Josh.
Yeah, and you will take your wins in any possible way that you can, especially if you're in that scenario. So they will take that. And with that goal, they're going to have to run with it and make sure that they don't get scored on immediately. Oh my gosh. 2 plays, 2 shots right off the bat, off the kickoff, that almost had them drawn level again. But at least in their favor, they had Lady Luck on their side just for that one attempt.
Yeah, every single player on this field has come flying out of the blocks for game number 4. They want the first, well, they want not the first goal because that's already gone in, but the first proper round of momentum, I suppose you could say. Nox, a little bit of a lightened blow for them if something does go in for them. They aren't playing from a losing position after probably the most suspect clear you'll see all day from Dreamy, who, well, it was the best Psycho I think we've all ever seen. We can collectively agree that in chat. But now Dreamy, looking for the target, you won't find it. That's just going to go against the bar. And maybe the allegations are starting to kick in of fraud if he can't find the net soon enough. Maybe Nox can, though. But they won't right now. Dreamy looking for that bump, almost finds it. Arrow is forced to clear it out. Jax straight to Tiago, who ends up going up, ends up getting met by Maj with 50 boost in that midfield, beat by Jax, who's looking for that second touch. He has the flip as well to work with. And the Grand Marshal himself is up now, just ends up passing it to that other team. Tiago leaves it to Dreamy, but he can't quite meet that first air roll. Down, looking for another double. Can't replicate what he could in game 1, but it stays as Nox with the lead.
Yeah, and all of a sudden Vulcan are wondering, how have we found ourselves in this position, a position of eternal threat almost, as it feels like Nox have been living in their half for an elongated amount of time, but finally a 2-touch right out by Tiago. Sidewall double back into the midfield. Now it's Maj just trying to clamp the ball to the wall, do all he can to keep his team in a safe zone. He got past one, but not past Tiago. Off the backboard, Jax looking for one more. Josh, an easy touch out, and Maj getting around one, will find the boost and the ball. Flip looking for a bump, will have some help. Here comes air roll, and air roll will make it 2-0.
Oh, Maj absolutely clanging the defender out of the sky there. Leaves air roll with the open. And fair play to Nox. I expected him to take a time off that last game. They've brushed it off and gone, nah, we don't even need that at all. Look at us go. We're at half-time. We're 2-0 up. We're also fumbling the kickoff as it seems, but Tiago on that now. That won't find the net, though. Josh going to be first to the ball. Jax is last back, though, now. And Vulcan have switched up as well. They're not the same unit that we saw in games 2 and 3, but that might just be partly due to Nox playing as they can. Maj with another bump, and he's plucking defenders out of the sky and letting his teammates clean up. 3-0.
Is this going to be the euphoria and utopia Coliseum for Nox, as they've been able to build on every single offensive attempt, something that they've even lacked opportunities in the previous games. They have generated them out of thin air in this game, and that is just a pure difference. Oh my goodness! Are you serious? This one gets pulled out of absolutely nowhere. Somebody call 911 because these two have just got out of jail.
What in the world? I'm just talking about the game 1 second, and then that banger comes across. Okay, sure, brilliant pass, but I'm more confused as to how you even managed to read that, and straight away, after that miracle play, it's just going to go completely against you. But I'm going to take a minute to just not care about this goal, because that moment from Tiago and Dreamy was just ridiculous.
Wow. I have never seen. Have you guys seen anything like that? He pinched it, and he read the pinch that was clinging to the wall. Air roller, a couple of extra touches. I don't think they're very pleased with the fact that they got clipped on a couple of seconds ago. So they're going to unleash hell on their opponents for a couple of minutes. And I'm sure for the sake of the clip, I think Vulcan they're not going to care all that much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's clip of the week for the playoffs even sorted already. Like, that's going to be done.
Insane.
It's ridiculous.
How does one even do that? Like, in your brain, what part of your brain is just like, oh, okay, I'm going to pinch this off of the wall to my teammate, and my teammate is just falling out of quantum randomness to get the touch. How does that happen? Lord knows. That's insane. So props to them. They get one back. It's a 3-goal game. I've seen crazier things happen. Oh, okay, maybe not.
You know what that goal reminds me of? You know the Stockholm Major? I remember Extra just did some sort of stupid pass off the backboard and there just happened to be Mark by 8 just waiting, knowing that it was going to come to him. It just feels a bit like that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You know, I miss those days. I was so young.
Yeah.
I miss those days. See, now I feel nostalgic. But yeah, so, I mean, especially in this spot, I mean, imagine for these players, if they could reach that level of the players that they admire the most at the top level, they actually might be able to find another goal here, but that is an astounding save. And Vulcan are trying anything just to bring this game down to a 2-goal deficit and give themselves a chance, but Nox have been playing some astounding one-man defense back there.
I feel like Vulcan are that team that would rather lose 8-1 and hit a clip than lose 1-0 in a really close game. Because that just seems to be the case at the moment. They almost replicated that first goal with another pinch into the middle. That one's not nearly as impressive. So you can't strike perfection twice. That won't happen unless they find a way out here in these final 20 seconds, but Airroll's just going to end up clearing that. Nox almost definitely are going to tie up the series, and maybe Vulcan are just playing around a little, just trying to find their limits of the mechanics from what it seems to be like they have absolutely no limit, but maybe Dreamy with another clip for the road just now. Gonna fake one, gonna fake two, gonna fake the goal as well. Looks for Tiago. But they can't find that second clip, and it is Nox to tie us up. We've got at least 2 more games of this, by the way. What a series so far.
Yeah, this has been a... What's the word to describe this?
Pandemonium?
There's a place in Norway, or I guess, yeah, there's a place in Norway, right? And people know me from my weird analogies. I promise this is not that weird.
Oh, yes.
There's a place in Norway, right, where there's a time of the year where the sun doesn't set completely. So you go to sleep somewhere in the north. I have no idea. somewhere. So you go to sleep. It's like a sunset, but it never gets like dark. But then you wake up and it's just like the same darkness, like the same like level of light. Okay, this is what this feels like. It's 2 completely different times of the day. But I don't know where I was going with that. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know where I was going with that. But low key, it's just been flip flopping. The ideas, the storylines, it's been flip flopping. We go from Nox taking an interesting game 1, Vulcan taking 2 consecutive dominantly, and then Nox taking that last game more dominant than Vulcan winning the last 2 games. So it was just the storyline. It's been close, but the series itself has found no peace.
It's just been non-stop, really. I suppose you could almost, if you had a bingo for stuff that could happen in the series, I feel like you almost would have ticked off every box. Clip, check. Ridiculous own goal, check. Stupid save. That's something we're yet to see, to be fair. But we've got most of it down, and There's nothing really of that. Oh yeah, boring first 30 seconds. Check. Just happened just now. No one's had...
boring first 30 seconds. Good comms, good comms.
It just happens to be a game highlight now. The first shot finally comes in 40 seconds into the game. Followed by the second, followed by the first goal. And Nox with the turnaround have got the lead in game 5.
Well, have Nox finally found their form? That one bounced out and... Oh, Tiago just jumped super awkwardly for that one. And I think that was Josh going for the other boost ill-advised. And all of a sudden they find themselves, Vulcan, in this situation where they're down in this game. And they can't be in this spot for long, especially with the momentum that they lost over the last game or so. Here's Maj, bad touch, gives it away, and Dreamy puts it off the bar and in to tie the game.
Oh, that's something to forget, but I suppose what goes around comes around. After that poor mistake from Forge in the first game, it just comes right back to them. So, if you're one for bets, I don't know if there is one for the league, and you put Maj 10 to make over 0.5 critical errors, feel free to cash out right now, because that seems to be exactly what's happened. We're at 1-1, and I think people are just starting to forget which team they're playing for. Now Josh with that next shot will find it below 1, but won't find it his way into the middle. Jax is just waiting on the backboard. Dreamy's just going to go instead. I mean, why not, right? Why not just look for that little bit of flair? It's a funny old series, and I'm not even surprised that we're tied up in series and games right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been close, but not close at the same time. When someone takes momentum, they run with it, and then abruptly, just out of nowhere, out of universal randomness, their momentum stops and then goes to the other side, and they run with it. And then, so now it's like we're back to game 1 again. I mean, I guess. So this is where we find ourselves in another close game, another close series. Here's Maj. It's a flick over 1, and Maj will score to take the lead.
There he is again, that Mr. Fundamental himself, flicks it over that last man, and Errol, try as he might, cannot steal the goal. It's going to be Nox with the lead now. And the thing about this series, it feels like when you're watching a laggy stream, and you got one team on the offensive, and then all of a sudden you lag out and you come back, and the other team has just got all the momentum. That seems to be the case right now. And there was
like,
a
what
little bit left for me,
happens?
but I don't know. I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, two polar opposites that these two polar differences, I should say, that we keep seeing with these two teams. Like, right now it's stagnant in the midfield. Whoever is making the more mistakes looks... well, as a matter of fact, both teams are making some interesting mistakes. But the thing is, their idea is what counts, especially with the opportunities that they're starting to find. Vulcan trying to make something out of nothing, find the creativity package from absolutely nowhere. They might be able to. Tiago off the backboard, where's the follow? Big miss by 1. Josh over to the wall, trying to get a second touch, won't come. Dreamy awaiting the next play. Jax will take over to Dreamy. Dreamy trying to beat 1, taking the 50 in the air. Jax, will he jump? Not yet. Going to wait, bring it all the way back to the corner. 2 minutes remaining, or under 2 minutes remaining, rather. And Vulcan, they're going back and forth on the offensive and defensive side. They need to find a way to stabilize and find an equalizer. Can they find it here? Off the bar! And Jax will put it in and tie the game.
There you are now. Jax wraps his own present. First shot off the post. Second just finds a net off the bar. We're all tied up as Tiago pulling a Michi Batshuayi there on the replay.
Ooh, my goodness.
Here we go from 2-2. Minute and a half to work with. Now Maj, no more fundamentals really from him because he just doesn't have the boost to go for it. Now Dreamy ends up just beating Josh. There's not going to be anyone to meet him on his team as Aero seems to be getting there first. Now Jax passes it off back to his teammate in Tiago, who's just going to pinch that, go forward. That's something I suppose we haven't seen yet, a outrageous pinch, but either way, there's another double commit on the attack there. That's something to just watch out for because Errol has got the ball looking for that shot, looking for the winner. Well, I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't even know if it would be a winner, but either way, Dreamy with no boost ends up beating 1, then ends up beating himself just for good measure, just to even things up, just to make it fair. Now Jax over to the other wall, met by Errol. Met as well by Madge 10, who's just going to 50 his way through. Might as well be called Madge 50 at this point. Now Josh over to the backboard, met by Jax, and through a game of ebbs and flows, there's not really been any chance in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's been very stagnant. As you say that, Madge with 0 boost, trying to run. Here, oh my goodness, Josh just got okay. He had a wide open net. His teammate was sitting right in front of the ball. I don't think it was either of those players' balls, but one of them had an open net with momentum. The other one didn't. The communication has to be a lot better than that, especially in this stage of the game. Not the best touch. No recovery. Josh there to clean it up as fast as possible. This one gets banged right back out into the side of the field. No touch by either, and the net is open. A big mistake, and Tiago has taken the lead.
Oh, he's just been handed off. The third man nowhere to be seen. Madge 10 just ends up missing the follow-up, and it's a free net for Vulcan. That's 2 critical errors from Nox in this game now. If you erase them, this game is completely theirs, but now they've got to work against what is going to be a double match point. Will they take a timeout? Who knows? They may even find 0-second heroics just yet. Madge will keep that up, as well will Air Roll. Now Josh trying to beat that last man, but it does get dropped to the ground, and it will be Vulcan on double match point, looking to close out the series after an absolute gift at the end of that game.
Yeah, and that is quite the game for Vulcan to win. After everything that happened in that game, they went through trials and tribulations in that one game, found themselves down, came back, found themselves down again, and it looked like Nox were going to be able to run away with it. All of a sudden they get the tie, and then that last play that they got scored on, someone tried to sidewall double it, but got called off by the person that was on the sidewall to take control of the ball. Both of them missed, and there was no last man. And miscommunication like that is the type of stuff that puts you in situations that you cannot pull yourself out of.
Yeah, they've sort of cost themselves quite a bit of, I'd say, momentum, but also a game. I mean, early on in the series, I suppose you can afford that. I suppose that's why Forge ended up doing the exact same thing earlier on in the series. But I say what goes around comes around earlier on. And after that second error, maybe it's Forge that are due one now, due a game-ending error to force out game number 7. There's not going to be a timeout on the side of
3 game 7s.
It's done. Could you imagine if we'd managed to play every single game? I'm sure our producer would be absolutely exhausted. But you've still got this game to go through yet. Will Vulcan close it out? Honestly, couldn't tell you. I don't know if you got any different thoughts, but from the way it looks, it could still be anyone's game.
Oh my goodness, it really could be. Maj trying to twist the ankles of the last man, trying to get through with that one. And this is the level of play that they're going to need to have. Nox, they're going to have to find a way to transition as fast as possible, but they have to get out of their own half first. Here's Dreamy, touch to the sky, reset, gets hit off. Now it's Maj just trying to bang this one as deep downfield as possible. Tiago leaves it, now it's Maj. She's going to get beat out by Dreamy, so he concedes his attempt at the ball. Air roll off the backboard. Can't exactly do what he wants to do. Now it's Dreamy. It's another big bang, and Nox might be second to best on this defensive attempt. A really big read by Maj to keep that ball out of their half. If he missed it, it was wide open. And in the beginning of the game, you don't want to be on defense if you're Nox. You want to be full guns blazing offense. But right now, Jax is finding open opportunities from thin air.
Oh, it's a big test for the defense of Nox. No boost as well. And they managed to go without conceding that whole time. Aero is just going to completely boom that all the way to the other side. Dreamy just going to follow suit. Jax ends up bumping Madge as Aero with the follow now. Can the Mechanical Menace from game number 1 replicate anything else? It's not looking like it at the moment. Now it's going to be Josh on the ball. Maybe that's just a thing that Nox seem to be doing because they're boomed into the backboard from what seems like about 4 or 5 times in that last 30 seconds. This just falls to the Grand Marshal now, who is going to... my voice. You know what? You take over. I can't find my voice.
It's okay. I am super sick as well. I've been dying this entire stream. I'm not gonna hold you. So, but yeah, I think regardless, it's caster superpower. Is that open? Are you serious? This just ping pong in the midfield. Maj got the Evan pop to get that downfield, and Josh had a wide open. Do we get game set? It's so early, but I'm asking a serious question. With the nonsense that has been going on, do we end up getting game 7 out of this? This is a quite interesting level of play that has definitely been very entertaining. And for both sides, they both need to be able to find some type of peace and strength.
It seems like no one's finding any peace at the moment. Everyone is just complete, all gas, no brakes, I suppose is a way to put it from all 6 players, and they're all forced to make a save there from a shot from Grand Marshal into there as Jack's suspect landing on the wall there. You can't really pogo off the wall.
I don't
like
think
that.
he landed.
Really
I don't think he landed. I'm not gonna hold you.
I tell you what, he did land though, and that's the goal. He's going to tie us up, and if you could concede one more so we go to 7, that'd be much appreciated.
Oh, this one by Josh. He took it away from his teammate. Just diving in to get any touch on the ball. The ball is coming straight at your car. Jax being able to be the one to force this one into the back of the net. Another kickoff. It plays for Dreamy, who goes fast. Wins a very dramatic 50 that comes off the ceiling. Now it's going to be Taj from his own sidewall. No contestant yet. Off the backboard. Trying to make this one happen. Didn't even go for it. Went straight for net. Almost found the area through. And when you have nobody challenging you in the midfield like that, it will be easy for you to go for those types of plays. Taj again on the backboard, trying to tap this one away. Jax getting a big double commit with his teammate Dreamy. He might find something here from his own sidewall, bouncing into the midfield. No one's there for it. It's going to sit idle for Tiago as he looks to continue his team's attempt at net.
Well, maybe this chance from Dreamy will find anything, but no. It seemed like for that last 30 seconds, the entirety of Nox were just playing no boost Olympics, and they found their way through without conceding a single goal. Now it's going to be Dreamy trying to be that superstar once again. Finds the reset, but ends up just getting met by Arrow. Jax towards a goal. That won't happen for him. As Arrow into the corner with no boost, just ends up leaving it to Match. That goes all the way over to the other side. And as we enter the final minute, will the series be over, or have Nox got another gear left in them? They've not used their timeout this entire series, and they got no chances to either. So they're going to want to hope they can close it out now, but that's not what you want to do if you're the defender, because Dreamy will teach you a lesson.
Will that be the deciding factor? You talked about it being able to reach gears. Who's the person that enables the level that will be raised from both sides? And for Nox, every player has to be steadfast. Every player has to raise their level, turn it up a gear in the last 30 seconds of this game, because their lives, their upper bracket lives, will be on the line.
Oh, Jax almost with a crazy angle to end things for the series. But, I mean, for whatever team that does lose this, you are not out. Still, there is another life left on Sunday. But you just make it ever so much harder for yourself. And Vulcan would love to just end this out now. They've got 10 seconds until they continue in the uppers. And this game looks to be sealed. We will not have 3 Game 7s today, as it will be Vulcan more than likely advancing through.
Yeah, the moment I saw Air Rollers single jumping, waiting for the boost, I knew it was over. GG's. But no, it's been a very amazing series. I think I predicted Vulcan to win, so at least I know some type of ball.
Yeah, you know.
So I'm proud of myself. But big ups to Vulcan. They will progress through the upper bracket for the playoffs, and that is the level that they reached today should be the consistent desired level throughout the entire playoffs. Each player showed flashes of brilliance, but they were all able to make a huge impact and do what their team needed in the biggest moments. They had that clutch factor. They had the clip. Okay, they had the clip. They had the clutch factor, and they have the win.
They've just taken all the spoils, really, haven't they? They took a game on holiday in Game 4 to just, I don't really know, just have one clip, almost two, get absolutely thrashed, and just come back completely from that. As your series MVP will be Thiago, just short of 2,200 points, 4 goals, 10 saves, 4 assists, 14 demos as well. So pretty prolific demo.
Goodness me.
But well, some guy will absolutely mangle the defense. So that's just a team to that's a guy to watch out for on Sunday. But I mean, I don't know about you, Mel, but I felt like there was absolutely nothing missing towards the end of that series.
Yeah, it had everything. The last 2 games were really cool. The last 2 games showed exactly how teams should be approaching some of these series. And the first half of the series and the last 2 games of the series are polar difference. Super big difference. And that's the level that you love to see from both sides. Nox still played a really good series. They were able to come in. They did exactly what I think they wanted to do to an extent. There's some things for them I'm sure they're going to be going over and wanting to level themselves up before the main part of the playoff starts. But for Vulcan, I'm sure they're going to be satisfied with their level, and maybe they might be able to make a pretty good run throughout the playoff bracket.
Yeah, I definitely back them. I mean, I don't know if I back them to beat Illusion, unless Red Mob's maybe having an off day, but I would certainly back them to win every single follow-up game. Honestly, I'd back them to get top 2 at this point. Well, at least top 3, because although they did have a couple of lows, the peaks that they had were some of the best I think we've ever seen in some absolutely mind-boggling clip in Game 4. But they're going to want to be ironing out that mistake from Game 1, which they did seem to do just fine. And they're going to want to be looking to steamroll onwards on Sunday, as they've closed out what has been a very long slog of a day, ending off with a very, very entertaining series. There's your play-in bracket as well. Tempest getting through 2 Game 7s to make it across to Sunday, and Vulcan dispatching Nox in 6 games to keep through that upper bracket, leaving Nox to play Tempest first thing Sunday. It's been some day, Mel.
Yeah, it's been quite the day. We had multiple Game 7s. We had 2 Game 7s. We had a Game 6. It was a very competitive day, and teams showed up when they needed it to the most. Let's send us a playoff bracket picture for a while. Tempest, we saw them play a couple times earlier. They're going to be playing against Nox, and those are 2 teams that they're playing at a pretty decent level right now. So that should be one of the matches off the first round to watch out for. 100%. Illusion and Vulcan, I understand Illusion's a pretty good roster, so if Vulcan as well able to be competitive, both sides, or if they're able to be competitive with each other, that should be good as well. So I think those are going to be the 2 matches I'm going to be personally looking out for as well in these best of 5 series. But I'm happy we get a bracket reset for the grand final, because that will be, I have missed that format in Rocket League.
Oh,
in NA, all of the organizers are so stingy with bracket. They were like, game advantage? No, let's not do that anymore. Let's bring back the bracket reset and pull it out in its full glory. I love that. But Tempest, Nox, Illusion, and Vulcan should definitely be some of the matches to watch out for when the playoffs start.
I mean, this is just the brilliant format that we've got here. I don't know why they seem to just hate Grand Finals excitement in our RCS, because I'd love to see a team just make like a Queso Cloud9 Moist type run again. But that's something that you can see here. This is about as close to RCS as you'll get that isn't quite there in Master, because I mean, obviously some of the players here have main evented before, notably Red Mob, Smashy, we had Cash last season. So they know what to do, and they've got the excitement ready for Sunday. They've got a lot cut out for them. It's going to be a very, very long day. But for now, I think all that's left is just to gloss over the sponsors a little bit. So Badass Studios, I don't know what they do, but you know, they're sponsoring, so big ups to them. If you do want to get some merch as well, head over to SpartanWare. I've seen some of the shirts on there, some of the caps as well. Absolutely beautiful. So go over there if you really are a fan of either RSC or one of the orgs associated with it. If you want a little bit of coaching, if you want to get to master level, good luck doing so, but it's still possible. Then look no further than LTXAcademy. They've got, from what I've seen, plenty of success stories of people going that extra level. And last but not least, if you do buy anything in the Epic Games Store, do use code RSC-EU. It absolutely does help us out. But unless you've got anything to say, that is going to be all from me.
Yeah, it's been a really fun day. It's been a really, really great day. Big ups to the producer, Raids, who's been here for hours and hours on end. The production is definitely at the highest caliber, definitely throughout all of these European broadcasts. And I'm very happy to be even associated working with some of these guys. Very, very, very cool. And it's been a great day. So big ups to all the teams, all the players, and other broadcasters, because everyone's done such a good job on this. So I'm very happy to be here. So hopefully, I think Beeping Sheep should definitely take us out. But I do think today's been quite the day, and this is a very well-run league and tournament. And this playoffs, there's a lot more going on in these next couple of days.
I mean, yeah, I did almost forget for a second. Is this your first cast in RSC so far? Because you've really been brought in here.
But yeah, it's my first one for RSC-eu. I did one for SSA,
Yeah.
but it was like, for both times, I don't know what's going on, and I have learned so much over a short span of time, and it's really, really cool. I'm also like deadly sick right now, so I have been struggling through life and death today, but I'm doing it for the love of the game, because I love casting, and I love seeing Rocket League players. I love seeing Rocket League in general, because it's been a good level of play throughout the entire day. So very happy to get brought on, especially toward the end of the season, because I didn't expect it, to be honest, but it's really, really cool. So I do appreciate it from everyone. It's been really cool.
Oh yeah, but it's been a fun night and pleasure casting with you. Pleasure the players for playing. Once again, shout out to Raids, shout out to every single sponsor, shout out to everybody watching, and have a good night. We'll be back tomorrow with the conclusion of the Elite Tier. Until then, have a good one, everybody.
Up in Rocket League? Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTXAcademy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments and trophies won and thousands of dollars earned, I will tailor to your needs and make sure you get to that next level. I'm also doing discounted prices for the first 10 days, so you do not want to miss out. And you are also probably thinking,
CMOS, how do I book a session with you?
well, that's easy. Just open up that fancy browser of yours, type medify.gg/@cmasorl_, pick a session to your liking, book a time, and bang, you're booked, and I'll see you in the call. Once again, that's medify.gg/@cmasorl_.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. We're the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.